everybody to be seated. We're going to set this atmosphere real quick. Y'all, what month are we in? What month are we in? July! What number? Somebody talk back now. Talk back to me. I know what it is. Y'all can't see me. I'm too short. Y'all can't see me. I'm too short. Y'all can't see me. I'll get y'all attention. All right. Now I'm here physically as I am in the spirit. I'm a giant in the spirit. So y'all don't feel what I'm telling you right now. Check it out. We in the seventh month. The seventh month is the number of completion. Okay? Some of the things are going to be completed in your life right now because you're here in this business, in this building. I was wondering why my soul was leaving because there's a scripture that reminds me that the Lord wants all of us to prosper physically, just as your soul prospers. Is anybody with me? I said, is anybody with me? Stand on your feet if you with me. Watch this. On three. I need people in Wyoming to hear you. On three. I need people in Massachusetts to hear you. On three. I need people in Florida to hear you. On three. We need to wake people up in Vegas. So on three. When I say help everybody together, I want everybody to say music. All right? 1, 2, 3. How's everybody? Which is an amazing treat, by the way. I want you to listen to a short story. Some of you may know the answer. Let's see who knows the answer. This next $1 million earner that Kevin's about to introduce, we met him in 2016, and he has been so impactful in our business. We won a contest. How many of you are here today because you won a contest? So win all the things. No matter if it's a t-shirt, a bracelet, a hair tie. Oh, that's a good idea. A hair tie. You know, win all the things, you guys, because you never know how it's going to change the trajectory of your business. So in 2016, we won a contest. We were at his house. Pay attention. Here's the story. We had to choose between driving his Tesla for the weekend, the biggest weekend in our town, Bay City, 4th of July. Right now, today, we had his car 5 years ago, this whole weekend. Or we could stay at his lake house for the weekend. So he said, which do you choose? At the same exact time, I said, the house on the weekend. Kevin said, the Tesla. So who's the better salesman? Kevin. So anyway, we got the Tesla. So we drove to his house. He said, here you go. First time we saw him in person, second time maybe, gave us his keys and said, here you go. He left. We spent 15 minutes in his driveway trying to figure out how to put the thing in reverse. It's not in place like Teslas are today, right? They weren't known as much 5 years ago. So we finally figured that out. We're driving home, 75 North. It's a beautiful sunny day, 4th of July. My window goes down. Kevin looked at me and he said, what'd you do? What'd you touch? And I said, nothing. He texted me, the owner of the car texted me and said, huh, I did that. The next day, we were almost out of battery. He said, find a charging station. Now, we drove around for 30 miles. We had 1 mile left. We found one miles from our house, not in our town. They are there now. They weren't then. So anyway, so impactful, you guys win all the things. 2 months after that, 2 months. Everybody say 2 months. September 9th. Kevin's birthday. We were standing right here, and John Cooper promoted us to RVP. 2 months. So talk about the impact, you guys. You may not understand how it's lining up, but just follow it and win all the things, and that's how you'll get to your next step. So you're a contest winner. You're here today, and here to welcome our first speaker, Kevin Street. So the spiritual giant of
excited about getting together. I'm not kidding you guys. The prayer that should be on every one of our lips right now, pounding in our hearts is, God, let me get it this time. Let me hear it. Let me get it. I believe with all my heart that the eyes that see are common, but vision is rare.
That's right.
Ears that listen are common, but ears that hear are rare. This couple right here, $2 million earners, they sat in our meeting years ago, and there's other people in that meeting, right? And not everyone that day, when I made $2 million a year, they caught the vision, they heard it. Other people just saw and listened. My hope and prayer is that every one of you guys this morning do some listening and catch some vision. Sound good?
Yep.
You will change your life forever. So first of all, I always wanted to start by giving you some hope. And primarily just saying there's only one number one. Well, that's me. I'm the number one most shy, quiet, introverted person that's ever joined this company. So I'm going to give you some hope. So growing up, I was the kind of kid, people came to visit our home, I would run and hide under my parents' bed, definitely afraid if somebody said hello to me, I had to say hello back. I remember 6th grade, who remembers their first ever time public speaking in school, called a book report, right? So I was told to read a book, get ready, the teacher then called me up, stand in front of the classroom, and tell what I brought out in the book. So I read the book, got ready. That morning, I tried sales for the very first time. I tried to sell my mom the fact I was too sick to go to school. I my first sale. And then I remember being in the classroom, teacher called me up, so I'm walking toward the front. I turn around to face the room, and my legs stopped turning, but the room never did. It starts spinning a lot faster. Then all of a sudden, all the laws of physics got denied. It shifted on its axis on an angle, kept on turning. I'm the only guy who's supposed to know what's going on, so I ran out of the classroom, and I stopped at the doorway for some reason. I stuck my hands out, and I puked up my lunch into my hands. My first time ever public speaking, the only thing that came out of me was the syllable you make before you vomit and puke your guts out. So if you've ever done more than that, you're more of a natural than I ever was. These guys, going to high school, we go like McDonald's drive through my friends. You know how you have to roll down your window and speak your orders on a microphone thing? It scared me to death. I couldn't do it. I whispered my order, my buddies here, and have him order for me. That scary looking microphone thing. So listen, guys, if you're thinking I'm not sure if I'm all that in a bag of chips like the people speaking there, I'm not sure they can do what they do. Trust me, you should have seen how sucky we were when we first got started. I want to give you some hope that this is a place that turns average into extraordinary if you have the heart of a champion. If you're in this room right now, you separate yourself from the pack and you can do this thing and change the world. Amen? Amen. I have a lot to share with you guys today. First, I want to share my story briefly. So the way I grew up in a mom and dad was super hard workers. My dad owned a grocery store, and he worked Monday through Saturday, 9 till 9, and Sundays till 6 p.m. We had family dinner on Sunday night. Who's ever heard the key to success is working hard? That's another lie from the pit of hell. Nobody ever worked hard like my dad. After 20 plus years, we found that my dad's business was going to go bankrupt. It was going under. It was not a maybe. It was a for sure. It was not an if. It was a when. And going through high school is tough enough, but finding out my parents are going to lose everything was that much tougher. I went out and got a degree in electrical engineering. I'm not that smart. Don't pin that on me. I needed a 2.2 to graduate at 2.22. But I snuck out there. I got my job. I got a job at a company called Motorola doing cell phone engineering. Now back then, a cell phone was the size of a shoebox. And the only thing people ever said was talk fast and on my car phone. Okay? This was a whole different era. But I'm a cell phone engineer. In the same exact month, I got invited to a Primerica opportunity meeting. And then I was all excited to go because my parents were losing their business. I want to make some extra money, help them out. And then the guy who invited me called me and he canceled. He said, I'm trying to sell my car. I can't take that. I called him the next week. I said, can you bring me to that meeting? He said, I guess if I have to. He brought me to the meeting and he never, ever returned. I stuck around, okay? So all you who think, well, I'm not sure I'm the perfect kind of a leader to actually build it here. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. That's right. There's people all around this land right now on their knees last night praying to God that you have the courage to interrupt their lives. You ever read these books before called Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John? There's this guy named Jesus, might have heard of him. You know what he did for a living? All he ever did was interrupt people's lives. But every time he interrupted their lives, something good was about to happen for them. And that's what we do for a living. I'm so grateful to God my life got interrupted by this thing. And when anyone in this room also a little grateful for that, thank God our lives got interrupted. Go out there and pay it forward and interrupt people's lives boldly and with no shame, that something good's going to happen to them because you did that. Sound good? I got a lot I want to teach you today, but I want to first of all let you guys know that my wife and I feel so blessed because of you. We love Ian and Jessica, the best leaders in the company. We believe that. We love each and every one of you guys. We honestly pray for you every night. We pray for your marriages, for your physical health, for your kids, for your business to prosper. We love you. There's not a darn thing you can do about it. I want you to know that. We care about you guys. So if there's ever anything we can do for you, please let us know. Sound good? Except drive my Tesla when there's no charging station. Let's go ahead. I'm a teacher, so my hope and prayer is this message, this teaching, this will inspire you. You can go and do this thing. So first of all, who's ready to make some history? I believe that we have been scratched the surface of this great opportunity. I started 29 years ago. I'm giving you some hope right now. When I got started 29 years ago, this is the best opportunity on the face of the earth as far as hours you put in, how much you can help people make a difference in their lives, and how much money you can make. And all that's ever happened since then is every year it's gotten unrecognizably better than it was before. Okay? And guess what? We have been scratched to scratch. I'm telling you, in the not too distant future, there's going to be a time where every time the topic of business is taught in any university or any college anywhere in the world, there's going to be a chapter dedicated to primarily. I'm telling you that's going to happen. Okay? It's going to happen. I think there's going to be people in this room that are mentioned in that chapter. We're about to change how finance is done on the globe. We're just getting started. Some of you are younger. You younger folks, I'll talk about later. There's no scenario you won't end up a billionaire at this thing. I'm not kidding about that. So get ready. Who's ready to make some history, right? Here's what I believe. I believe that a whole bunch of you still have kind of your tail tucked between your legs. I heard Bill Arender say this, was my mentor, and actually your mentor too. I heard Bill say this a long time. He said, what's the difference between making $500,000 a year and above and everybody else? He said, everybody else feels like when they talk to people, that they're bothering them. He says, people who make $500,000 above, they're in a traffic jam, they're in a room like this, they're in a mall, they're wherever, and they see people and their hearts ache for their lives not being touched by primarily. For not having this in their life. This is like a surreal world. I'm not kidding. So there's other things you do, maybe make some money, but the lifestyle that Danny and Ada and ourselves, to have friends all across the country, like good friends who are super successful, super like-minded, the impact and the influence, how much you can help people, from the clients to the reps to the big earners, it's uncomparable. So here's what I believe. If I locked us all in this room, I brought in food and water, and a SWAT team on the outside, so you could not escape. And so we are locked down, nobody leaving. And I don't care if it takes 2 days, 5 days, or 7 days. We're gonna get a scratch paper out, a pen, just a blank pad paper, and we're gonna brainstorm, imagine, and create the greatest opportunity we can possibly think of. How do any of us, or all of us combined, have the imaginative capacity to create an opportunity as good as what we have here? Let me put you in a different way. I heard, by the way, take notes of this. The best way to explain something is not talk about it. I'm convinced of that. Again, this guy named Jesus, might have heard of him. He always talked about what's called parables or stories. So here's how I explain this. Pretend for a second, primarily didn't exist, and we were looking for something to get into. And someone said, hey, you want to sell cars? I said, no, I don't want to sell cars. But they said, no, you don't understand. This is a new car coming out, and the company is hiring people to sell them. Let me talk about this car. It is faster than a Ferrari, way more technologically advanced than Tesla, better quality than a Rolls Royce. This car is unbelievable, like nothing ever before. This car will have a 1,000,000-mile bumper-to-bumper unlimited warranty. The car will sticker for $4,900, and each time you sell one, you get $4 grand in commission. If I never sold a car in my life, and in that Primerica, and someone offered me that, I would take the opportunity and immediately look at every single person out there like, you are a moron if you drive any car except my car. What is wrong with you? Okay? That's how you need to feel about what you do. The difference between people who blow this up and everybody else is how they feel about what they do. Recruiting is an attitude. Leadership is an attitude. So let's go through it. Let's create an imaginary opportunity. Go on a journey with you for a second. So check this out. The first thing you gotta do is you have to pick an industry. Right? That's the first thing. You gotta start there. There's different industries. So my suggestion to the team would be let's pick on the financial tree. You know why? There's only two things people look for in a career: helping people and making money. Well, guess what? Can you help people with the financial industry? Go ask any pastor, any priest, any rabbi. They'll say the number one cause of marital distress and divorce is fighting about money and finances. In the American Medical Association, the number one cause of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attacks, strokes, even suicides is stress. And number one cause of stress is money stress. So if we're going to pick an industry, why not pick the one you can help people the most? Okay, and also let's make some money. It's a fact, Jack. There's more money in money than anything else. It's the most residual rich business in the world. So we can start from scratch and just make it up. Let's pick the financial. Does that make sense? Yeah. Of course it does, right? Next, let's make up a company. If we're gonna make a company, the number one most important thing we gotta have is distribution. So back to my example, let's pretend for a second we had to invent a product. So again, we're on lockdown, doors are locked, SWAT team will shoot you if you try and escape, and no one's leaving until we think of the best product ever thought of in the history of products. And now we've got one. Ask your question, how much money are we making if our product sells in Sam's convenience shop in Auburn Hills, Michigan, and that's it? Nothing. But if our product was inside of every Costco, every Sam's, every Walmart, Amazon, CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, we make some money. Yes. What's the difference? In one word, distribution. If we're gonna make up a company, what's the most important thing? Distribution. Number two, so that let's have 5,000 offices, and we do. By the way, it's not made up, it's actually our company, these are the product. Let's have 131,000 licensed representatives out there. More than number 2 through 3 combined, okay? Because we're making up, let's be the only financial company in the world welcoming 50,000 new clients a month. You ever feel down if you've been rejected or got charged back? Every day repeat yourself. Yeah, but 50,000 families a month are saying your stuff is better than what I had. Go ahead and switch me. Something's happening 50,000 times a month. More times a month the big companies do in a year. It can happen for you and your family. Make sense? Yeah. And since we're making it up, let's have a company like Forbes say we are in the top 50 most trusted and the #1 highest score. And since we're making up, let's have the regulators give us an A+ rating. If you don't know what A+ means, here's what it means. If your kid comes home from high school, they have A+ on the report card, don't ground them. It's a good grade. That's what I mean. Now you know. So you're making up, let's have this crazy discussion. Let's be the funnel for everything you can possibly have. So let me tell you what this means. Because we have distribution, every single financial company is beating on our door. Non-stop, drooling over our 5,000 offices, drooling over our 131,000 licensed reps. And they're constantly approaching us saying, hey, would you sell our product? You know what our company tells everybody? No, no, and no. Get out of here, go make it better, go start over, go do whatever you need to do, and make it better, and come back, and once it's the absolute best for quality for the client and compensation, we'll think about it, okay? That's what we do. And is it working out? Heck yes. Now, some of you still worry about the competition. Let me give you a little hint for a second. Stop worrying about them and start praying for them. You know what I want to happen? Is I want our competition to come up with this crazy new incredible product and bring it to the market. Because all we have to do is steal it from them, put it into our distribution, and spank them with it. We already have 5,000. We've only talked to the 50,000. Don't worry about them, just pray for them, we'll steal it from them. Make sense? Years ago, there were these two companies. One was called KFC and one was called McDonald's. KFC was #1 in chicken in the country. McDonald's was #1 in burgers, fries, and Coke. McDonald's came with a brand new product. They called the product the Chicken McNugget. You've ever heard of it before? Guess how long it took McDonald's to pass KFC and become the #1 market of chicken in the country? Guess how long?
One day.
Not because their chicken tasted better. I'm not sure the same chicken inside the chicken nugget. Whole other story. But because they had more distribution. Primarily, they just closed on buying a company called eTeleco or something, and we're getting the Medicare cell business. I don't even know what that is. Okay, it doesn't matter. But I do know one thing: because we have 131,000 licensed reps, and because we're the only company doing 50,000 a month, guess what? By next month, by a month or two, we'll be #1 in that. Hey, how much did you make last year from Medicare supplement products? Add that up. Okay, so you zero. It was zero. That's how much I made and you made last year. That's how much Reson and Sharp made. But guess what? We're gonna dominate that field, and we're gonna keep on doing stuff like that. And they're gonna bring stuff in, mix it in our distribution, and we're gonna dominate it. Sound good? Since we're making it up, right? Now, since we're making up, let's attack a crisis. So in the Japanese language, the word for crisis and the word for opportunity is the same word. I don't speak Japanese. The only Japanese word I know is Godzilla, which I'm not sure is a Japanese word. Thank you so much. But at the end of the day, every time there's a crisis, there's an opportunity. So for example, somebody got injured or sick, it's a crisis. The doctors and hospitals make money, don't they? I moved to Florida, Hurricane Irma came, crisis, but the tree guys and the roofers make a fortune. So every time there's a crisis, there's an opportunity. Okay, you know why you're here? You're here to solve a problem. That's why you're here. But I'm not sure if I want to recruit, don't recruit. Well, here's why we recruit, to solve a problem. What's the problem? Here it is, since we're making up. Let's have a problem where 90% of families have enough life insurance last for 2 years or less. It's a crisis in our country. Of a problem where 90% of families out there, when they turn 65, more than 90% of families have less than $57,000. How long do you think you retire at $57,000? They can be more than 90%. Let's have a problem where 90% of people have no access to affordable legal protection, and 90% of families have no strategy, zero strategy, ever become debt-free. Are those some serious problems? Yes. And if we can solve those problems, we can become wealthy. So since we're making up an opportunity, let's have it be the biggest crisis in our country. And also, at the same time, let's have there be a shortage of people addressing the biggest problem. In America today, there's 3 million plus doctors and nurses. There's 2 million plus lawyers. There's 1 million plus real estate agents. Okay? That's the question. How many people in the country right now need a doctor, need a lawyer, or need a real estate professional? Not many. How many people need help with their finances?
Everybody.
9 out of 10, everybody, okay? There's only about 356,000 people in our field. This year, the average age is 63 years old. That's not too old to work, but so residual rich, they ain't working. They're golfing, fishing, playing, having fun, but they ain't working. There's a crisis of a shortage of people. We don't ask you to recruit just so you can make money for your family, even though you will. We ask you to recruit to solve the biggest problem in America today, a financial crisis. Okay, whether you recruit or don't recruit, it doesn't matter. The problem is still there. And you're here to solve a problem because business makes money when problems are solved. Make sense? So, since we're making up, let's have crazy compensation. Let's have a track record of thousands of people make extra 2 or 3 or 4,000 a month part-time. Since we're making up, if you guys request, if you took next week off and just did a campaign phone blitz and called 2,000 people, ask them this very simple question. Hello, can you use an extra 2,000 a month? I guarantee you'll have either 1 of 2 answers every time. Yes or heck yes. Okay? That's all you can hear. So just solving a problem? Yes. Okay. How about this? More people making 100,000, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million than any company in the country or the world. Since we're making up, let's go ahead and create this crazy track record. Since we're making up, let's have what's called advanced pay. Oh, sorry, you don't understand. I just lost my 50 grand a year job, my 100 grand a year job. How long does it take to ramp this thing up? Oh, your business today, you're paid tonight. People can replace that in their first week license, okay? Because we offer advanced pay since we're making it up. Since we're making up, there's this thing called IBR. Listen, when I went to my first opportunity, I guarantee they did not mention IBR. Okay, I can barely spell IBR. But I know that these guys right here probably made $10,000 to $15,000 a month off this afterthought called IBR. Check with you later about what that means. Okay, let's have bonuses. Now let me ask you a question. When people hear bonuses, what do they think of? I'll tell you what I think of. Every November, every corporation, people start whispering. Have you heard? Have you heard? Are we getting a bonus? Have you heard? What have you heard? Have you heard anything? They have no idea. They're freaking out because they need that bonus, but don't know what's going to happen in December. We don't pay bonuses every year. We pay bonuses every month. Let's go. And you get to calculate to the penny exactly how much your bonus will be. That's crazy. This couple make over $100,000 a month in bonus compensation alone. We have real bonuses since we're making it up, right? Let's have security. Listen, the security skill, all I can tell you is every industry would love a $1 trillion increase of revenue to their industry. If you go Google these words called great wealth transfer, this number keeps popping up. The number is 68 trillion. I'm not sure how much that is, but it sounds like a lot to me. And people who actually try and understand how much that is, it's too big of a number for economic geniuses to wrap their minds around. But I'm telling you, it's here right now. What's here? An explosion in our securities business. I'm just going to tell you it's nice and simple. When I got my license in 1992, 0 people I ever met had a 401k from a previous employer, a little IRAs laying around. 0. Okay. Now almost everybody has that. Those things came out in 1987 for the first time in world history. A generation has gone to work parallel with a systematic savings program. People have no idea what they're doing, start a job, they're told sign here, then they be laid off or quit their job, now they got money to move. Also, people are passing away. The baby boomers, this year, the oldest ones turned 75 years old. 10,000 people a day, 80 million next 18 years are passing through 75. When they pass away, I'm not talking about rich people, just your average middle class, paycheck to paycheck folk. Between their life insurance, their 401ks, their IRAs, their house, their bank accounts, they're leaving behind hundreds of thousands to 1 or 2 million for their kids. And their kids don't have no wealth management. Okay? We're getting phone calls. My parents passed away, my dad passed away. We have 200,000, 400,000. It's happening like crazy right now since we're making up. Let's have this thing called PAC. Listen, all I can tell you is if I had a bad day on Monday, let me explain that. I got 85 REPs, 2,300 agents. I got a phone call from everyone on Monday. We decided to move to Brazil and never come back. Every bad day, right? And I told like all my offices burned to the ground, every agent moved to Brazil. That'd be a bad day, right? Bad day. And so if that were to happen, our business is still gonna make about 10,000 sales in the month of July. Just taking money from people's accounts into their investment. And that pays every month since we're making it up. And they keep on adding other stuff to it. Since we're making up, let's be the only place, let's be the only place in the entire money business that only has 2 positions, owners and owners to be. I got the highest contract in all business today at about 130%. And guess what? Everybody we bring in, we can't wait to get that same exact high contract that we got. That does not exist anyplace else. We're not asking you to work hard for us. Matter of fact, let me just tell you the truth. For every one of you, I would think less of every one of you. If you came here so you can make money for Ian, Jessica, Proctor, and the other RVPs on the team, I would think less of it. You're here to build a business, a multi-million-dollar business, where you and your family have passed down from generation to generation. So here's what everybody understands. You ask anybody in this country, what's better? 30 years of paying rent and an apartment, or 30 years of making a mortgage payment? What does everybody say? A mortgage payment. Why? Because after 30 years of rent payments, you know what you got? Your 31st year rent payments. That's what you got. After 30 years of mortgage, you now have a family asset. It's paid off. You own it. So people clearly understand why rent when you get home, but the same thing is true of our time. Why rent your time away building somebody else's dream when you get to work hard anywhere? Somehow, you might as well work hard here where every day you're going to work, you're building equity for every future generation of your family. That's a blessing, since we're making it up, right? Since we're making it up, let's have the company pay about $5,000 per couple. I think it's the best places all around the world. That's where we became friends. I remember sitting on the flight with you as a little island hopper from somewhere in Hawaii to somewhere else in Hawaii. And this guy challenged this guy. I think he was a loser at the time. And I really didn't get it. And now, is that something, you guys? We made our best friends all across this country because of these trips. Incredible times. Join us, right? Since we're making it up, let's have this. Every January, Glenn Williams, the CEO, brings a senior leadership together. Everyone making $250,000 a year or more. I think it's about 600 people now. And he always starts off every one of those meetings with these words. We broke this record last year, that record, this record, that record. And I'm thrilled and so proud of you guys, but I'm nowhere near satisfied. Can I just tell the truth to you for a second? Thank God for that. If the CEO was satisfied right now, we have a lot to be grateful and satisfied for. If the leaders and the RVPs and Ian and Jeff, we were satisfied, you have no opportunity. Right. Thank God we're not satisfied. Thank God we knew that it's just the beginning. It's a good place to start with that. So bottom line is since we're making it up, let's have it so simple for everybody, people to do what we do. Because I know this for a fact. If you took on $150 million, about 150, I think. If you took us all and put us, against the wall and pointed rifles at us and said, you all have to agree right now, what's the one thing you have to tell everybody to do to get where you're at? And they say that, field consensus is an oxymoron. We don't agree about everything, but all of us would agree it's recruit and field train direct. Recruit and field train direct. Amen? Recruit, and so get why. One recruit 2 clients a week. I'm going to talk about that more later. But every single person here, they say water is made of H2O molecules. I don't know what that means. Ask somebody else. That's what's made of. So H2O, right? And recruit and building a hierarchy here is 1 recruit 2 clients a week. And every week you do that, your business grows. And every week you don't, your business shrinks, especially at your levels. So don't stop doing that. It'll take your business from H2O, right? If you look at a glass of water, it's just H2O molecules. You look at a swimming pool, it's just H2O molecules. You look at a lake, it's just more H2O molecules. Look at Bobby Leeson's business, it's an ocean, it's just more H2O molecules. More people doing 1 recruit 2 clients. Make sense? Yeah. So since we made it up, how good was that opportunity? Can I just ask you from this point forward, get off your knees, put your shoulders back, puff out your chest, and believe that you have the greatest opportunity on the face of the earth as far as hours you put in, how much you can help people, how much you can make a difference in people's lives, and how much money you can make. Does that make sense? Yes. Be confident, be convicted, be kind and be nice and be gracious, but know that that their life will not turn out as well without our opportunity. Make sense? Yeah. So I want to go through some numbers with you now, just a little brief talk on some numbers you got to work. So here we go. First of all, every single aspect of your life, without exception, is numbers business. Aside of insulting, don't you dare call my spiritual life a numbers business. Oh, yes, it is. Try going to church once every 4.5 months and reading your Bible once every 3.5 years and praying once every 17.5 years, and let me know how your spiritual life is doing. Try waking up earlier in the morning, spending 20 minutes on reading your Bible, praying to God, listening to some worship. Try going to church every week with your family. Try having some studies and stuff that you do. Then let me know how your spiritual life is doing. Yes, your spiritual life is absolutely a number. And so is your marriage, by the way. Try telling your spouse that you married 27 years ago, I love you then. If anything ever changes, I'll let you know. Versus try every day, multiple texts, tell them how the most important person in life, writing them notes, telling them you love them, we'll do a date night once a week. All those are numbers. Yes, your marriage is a numbers business. And guess what? So is your Primerica business. When I first ever attended a Saturday training, I learned this thing called the theory of 100, and it blew my mind. So simple, but so powerful. Forget primerica for a second, because the way you get people to understand a thing is not talk about the thing.
Yeah.
Pretend our business was this. We had a store in the mall, and here's what we sold. We sold $20 bills for $5. Okay, so help me out for a second. Would you all agree that you're a fool not to walk in our store and buy as many as you can?
Yeah.
The $20 bills are being sold for $5. That's what you do, by the way. So if that's the case, here's what would happen to that store in the mall whose businesses sell $20 bills for $5. There are 100 people that walk in, 30% just say no, and they walk out. A whole bunch of you hear no. Next, you have to lie on the couch, with a bag of ice on your forehead, and somebody fanning you and beating your face for 10 days before you come to. Okay? That's ridiculous. 30% people just say no, and it's got nothing to do with you and your message. They didn't bother hearing you. Why did they say no? I don't know. Maybe they grew up in that kind of culture where that's all they ever heard. They grew up and then they were a little kid wobbling around, heading towards a hot oven, and everyone yelled no at them. They were in grade school, and it's recess, and they're playing a kickball game, and the score is tied. And the recess is over, and they beg the teacher, "We have a few more minutes, the score is tied." And the teacher says, no. They get a job and they ask their boss for a raise and time off, and every time they hear no. And you ask them a question, and they just reverberate that word they've heard their entire life. They say no to you rather than thinking about it. Quit beating yourself up over people that are automatic no's. If they're people you'll see all the time, go become a huge yes in your success and your track record, and maybe you'll win them over, but do not be yourself. 50% of people are the win. They will follow the loudest voice in their life. Okay? Who's ever talked to somebody and they're fired up and ready to become SSC by next week? 2 days later, oh, I've been thinking. I can get phone calls. They've been listening, right? So their spouse beat them up, their kid who's 3 years old, so they can't do it. Their drunk uncle from across the street who walked the dog said, one time I heard about that thing. All this stuff starts to happen, right? And you get a hold of them. You're like, no, let me just point something. You absolutely 1,000% get it. I'm going to help you. We're going to work together. We're going to make this thing happen. You're going to blow this thing up. I'm on your side. We're going to do this side by side. Oh, yeah, I got that. And 3 days later, what happens again, right? So that's, you know why we do things like this? It's called group therapy, basically. We do this to become the loudest voice in people's lives. Okay, that's why we do it, right? We want to get people every few days on a Zoom meeting or a live meeting and keep telling them the message they can change their life and become the loudest voice in their lives. So 50% of the people you recruit, they're like the wind. Okay, if you keep on them and you keep breathing life into them and you keep succeeding from them, eventually they might get it, right? And then 20% people, and thank you God for those people. If they hear something and it's logical and they make sense, they say yes. And sometimes when that happens, you fall back in your chair. Because it's too weird, right? But thank God for those people that are really out there. Raise your hand if you're in this room and you were a pretty easy yes for the products and the options. See, I told you they're alive. So that many people raise their hand, go find more of them. It's less therapy you have to pay for, right? Okay, awesome. Next, you have to accept the law of large numbers. Okay, you have to accept the law of large numbers, and so the bad news is you cannot beat the law of large numbers. The good news is that the law of large numbers cannot beat you. Who's ever heard of McDonald's before? Okay, who's ever seen a McDonald's before on a dirt road where, as far as the eye can see, there's a cornfield on the left and a cornfield on the right? Either way. Who's ever seen a McDonald's before on a busy road in a busy intersection? All the time. Who's ever seen McDonald's before on a busy road in a busy intersection and the owner is standing in front with a box of tissues, wiping away tears every single time someone drives by and does not pull in? Either have I. Who's ever been to a McDonald's before on a busy road, busy intersection, been there all day and not one person walked in? Either that. You get it? McDonald's understands the law of large numbers. The more they put those restaurants on a road, the more cars drive by, the more business they're going to do. It's really not that complicated. Does that make sense? Yeah. So next is accountability. Okay, everyone gets all weird about accountability. Well, how do I do that? Let me just tell you, if you're the kind of person that realizes that immature people in business run away from accountability, mature people in business run towards accountability. Okay, I want to challenge you guys. Whatever your coach is doing for accountability, follow that to the T, but also do this. I found this your cultural mind. If you want to make sure your business grows, text your direct leader 7 times a day with what you just did to move your business forward. And it can't be, I talked to one person. I talked to 5 people, scheduled 2 appointments. Did an appointment, nothing happened, I'm off to the next. Okay? If you're texting 7 times a day with one rule, you cannot send a text with the word I did nothing. Okay? If you're texting 7 times a day what you just did to move your business forward, watch what happens every 90-day period of time. My business starts to grow. Now, most will not do that. Easy to do, a lot easier not to do. It'll change your life. Okay? Next. I covered number 5 and 6. 1 second here. Number 7, accept the 80-20 rule. Check this out. In Primerica, 80% of people do 20% of production. And 20% of people do 80%. Well, then what's wrong with Primerica? We got to figure this out. We have to get the other 80 doing more. It has nothing to do with Primerica. You go to every single Boy Scout troop campsite, and when they were setting up camp, guess what happened? 20% of Boy Scouts did 80% of the work in setting up camp, and 80% did 20% of the work. Go to every single church, and guess what happens? 20% do 80% of the volunteering, and 20% do 80% of the giving. It's got nothing to do with our business and everything to do with life. Okay, so follow the rule, 80-20 rule. If you want more milk, get more cows. Don't try to squeeze the same milk out of the same cow. Make sense? Yeah. Number 9. There's a guy in our company named Bob Lisa. I love the guy. My hope and prayer is if you're on a Primerica trip, you will not run across him. Even though the dude is everywhere. Everywhere you turn, Bob Lisa's there. You're standing in line, he's right next to you. You're in the lobby, he's there. You're in the men's room, he's there. You're in the women's room, he's there. He's there everywhere. And if you ever say hello to the guy, I hope you don't have to fly the next 4 days. He's gonna keep talking. Just talk. He's a long-winded dude. Matter of fact, I've been in the company a long time. Have you ever seen Bobby speak at a trip or a convention? Never. He doesn't know how to do this. He's a very long-winded dude. By the way, he was the first guy in our company to pass $4 million a year in income. First guy to pass $4 million a year, and they brought him on Primerica TV. And here's what he did. Bobby, congratulations. Bobby, anything you want to say? He's the shortest talk I ever heard him say. He said every single person that also does 20 new contacts per day and follows up on everything good that can come from it will also go on to make $4 million. Mic drop, he was holding the mic, and he walked away. Repeat that. Every single person that makes 20 new contacts per day. For you young folks, this is what a contact is. A contact is not book facing somebody, like it's not snip chatting somebody, it's not twiddling somebody. A contact is just speaking live to a human being over 18 years old, not their 12-year-old daughter, speaking with passion, trying to get a meeting to share about our opportunity and our problem. That's what a contact is. Okay? Everyone who makes 20 new contacts per day and follows up on everything good that comes from it will also go on to make $4 million a year. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Next, there's in Primerica, for every 100 people you get life license, within 2 years, 83% are not producing at all. 15 will become consistent part-time producers, and 2 become RVP. Now, people hear that, well, I'm out, I quit, I'm out, I quit, I'm out, I quit. 100 people, you want me to get licensed? That's hard. After I get 100 licenses, you tell me 85 I quit, I'm out, I quit. Okay, before you get out and quit, I got news for you. Okay, for every 100 you get life license, you end up with 2 RVPs. Primerica's had hundreds of ownership transfers, and they've done the math. For every direct RVP you make up, end up making over 100 grand, your net worth went up by $500,000. So if you don't like the numbers, that's cool. Lie to yourself. The way that works is tell yourself for every 100 people you get life license, your net worth goes by $1 million. So for every 1 person you get life license, your net worth grew by 10 grand. Quit worrying about all other stuff and just tell yourself, I need to get more people licensed because everyone is worth 10 grand. Doesn't exactly work that way, but it exactly works that way. Make sense? Okay. Next is double-digit recruiting. Listen, I don't know why water doesn't nothing at 33 degrees, and why he does nothing at 211. But at 212, you can boil water, you can make spaghetti. That's cool, right? At 32 degrees, you can have the NHL, you can have ice cream. I like ice cream, right? 1 degree made all the difference. Of all the Primerica talks I've ever heard, I heard the most unique thing I've ever heard in any Primerica talk was a guy standing up in front of the whole company saying, why in the world would you want to recruit 9 people? There's a whole bunch of folks. So they got 9, they would go the biggest party man has ever seen. And he says, why would you want to get 9? Because the magic number here is 10. I don't know why, but every single business in all of Primerica that recruits less than 10 people a month, here's what the production looks like. Up and down, like a cardiac EKG. It also gives you cardiac issues. Every business that does more than 10 recruits does one of these things. Okay, you want to go faster, do recruit more people. Make sense? Okay, next. 1 recruit, 2 clients per week. I mentioned that before. That's the building blocks. Every time, here's how you want to picture that. Again, how you explain the thing, now talk about that. The best way to get people to understand 1 recruit, 2 clients every week is everyone's trying to build a Primerica business. You are trying to go up on an escalator going down. If you're trying to go up on an escalator going down and you start moving your feet, what direction do you go in? Down. Okay. So what do you have to do? Go up, so you're going down. Every week you do a minimum of 1 recruit and 2 clients. Your business moves forward. And every week you don't, your business takes a step back. Aside, that's me. My mom got sick. My kid the flu. My husband had an issue, whatever. I get it. I'm not trying to be mean. But that's your question. If you go to the gym for 6 months straight, 4 days a week for an hour and work out hard, are you in better shape? Yes. If you now take 6 months off and come back 13 months later, are you the same shape you were 6 months ago? No. I'm not trying to be mean. It's life. You try to study for an exam, study super hard for 3 days, and then take 10 days off, to study hard for 3 days, and take 10 days off again, you'll never pass the exam. The time and consistency is key. And the key thing is consistency. So 1 recruit, 2 clients per week for 12 months, you have a built $100,000 a year income. When I was in college, I was actually studying engineering, but my roommate was studying business. I thought that was more cool. He said, hey man, you know what wealth equivalency is? I'm like, don't use big words, don't call me that. All right, so he said, wealth equivalency is, you know, like all these game shows and stuff talking about who wants to be a millionaire, right? It's all about becoming a millionaire. The $1 million doesn't mean nothing. The purpose of the $1 million is $1 million invested at 10%, kicks off $100,000 a year for life doing nothing. The reason people want to become millionaires is so that $100,000 coming in, you don't got to do nothing for it. You get to do nothing the rest of your life to make money. So here's the deal. If you want to be worth $1 million in the next 12 months, you have exactly 2 choices. 1, save $83,000 a month into a mutual fund. That's 1 choice. Any takers? The second is do 1 recruit, 2 clients every single week, never missing a week. Doing that as the minimum, you can do more. I don't know about you, the second one sounds a lot easier than the first one. And 12 months now, you have a built $100,000 income. Isn't that cool? Do that for 2 years, you have a $250,000 a year income. Listen for a second. I heard a long time ago, once you made $20,000 a month, 2 months in a row, life is never the same again. And guess what? Everyone in this room is 2 years from being there. 2 years of what? Consistency. Not starting and stopping and stuff. You're trying to drive somewhere, and you're going to drive for 2 miles and go in reverse for half mile, go and drive for 2 miles, you'll never get there. You can't keep going forward and reverse, right? Next, okay, the zip code to success. We have a zip code for success, right? Everyone wants to get to the destination of success with a zip code. How help you find a place? Our zip code is 85316. Okay, R. Williams said, be on every week, whatever you do. Okay, I don't care. I tell my guys, I don't care if you play 36 holes of golf every day. Okay, as long as you're on 2 appointments that day with a married couple presenting over there. Okay, all the work besides that is for the purpose of getting those appointments. So you can recruit and sell. So bottom line is 8 qualified appointments with a married couple. Okay, And they'll get you 5 people saying, let's see what you got. 3 will say, I want to become a client. 1's going to join and doing 6 mutual funds. 8, 5, 3, 1, 6 is a zip code for success. Next is next number I've got for you. There's a guy in our company named Chris Cooper. Okay, I love this story because that guy, nobody sucked worse and nobody's better. It took Chris 9 years to make $27,000 a year. I won't repeat it after me. That sucks. And now he makes over $2 million. Okay, the one thing he changed, he said, and he told me this to my face, is he created a culture where everyone's scheduling 5 somethings by noon every day. 5 somethings by noon. Okay, irregardless. So what do most people do? There's a book by Stephen Covey called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Some of this concept called first things first. And what it talks about is how most people, all day long, they keep doing what's urgent and they never get around doing what's important. So forget Primerica. Again, how you explain a thing, don't talk about it. Picture farming for a second. Picture a farmer has all these really good excuses of why during planting season, they didn't plant a seed. Their kid got sick, the weather wasn't good, there's an issue at their kid's school, or whatever, okay? All these excuses, doesn't matter. What's gonna happen during harvest season? They're gonna start. So planting season is before noon every day. Your goal is never, noon go by without scheduling 5 something. I mean with a pastor or a politician, somebody of influence to share what we do, get referrals, a kitchen table or a married couple, a recruiting interview, whatever. The 5 somethings are scheduled every day by noon. Make sense? Next, 25 direct showing up. Mike Sharp said years ago, he said, whenever you get to a point where whenever there's a meeting, you got at least 25 directs there, you're making $1 million a year. There was a convention in 2016, and I went there with my wife. I looked around the room, or a hierarchy breakout, I had 26 directs there, and that year we were over $1 million. So it's something, and by the way, every single training I do, on Zoom or live, whatever, I take out my phone, I write down the names of every direct I have. I can't control, listen, you can't control how many great grandkids and grandkids you have. You can't control kind of how many kids you have, right? Number 23, communication. I'm not sure if I can do this. What words do I say? How do I say this? Stop all that. When you communicate with people, 93% is nonverbal. When you communicate with people, 55% of what you communicate is your body language. 38% is the tone of your voice, and 7% is the word. Let me prove it. If I were to walk in this door and close the door and do the whole rest of the meeting, would you be impressed? Would it be the same value? No. 55% of you miss it. What if I said, hey, Ian, Rick, thanks for the invite, guys. I appreciate it. I'm not coming. Don't worry. I got there early. I made a transcript of every word I was going to speak. It's on everyone's chair. And for 90 minutes, they just read it. It's exactly the same words. Would you get the same message? What's missing? 93%. 93% of what you communicate is body language and tone of voice. So, remember this is work. When you make phone calls, quit laying back on a couch with your feet all up and stuff, and sit down and square your shoulders and pat your elbows and make the phone call and smile, right? When you're doing a Zoom, I never just kick back in my chair all slouched on a Zoom meeting. I'm always sitting up and talking to the person and making it look like it's an important topic, right? Make sense? Yes. And number 24, 50 recruits in a quarter will find an RV. I'm not sure about every double digit, may or may not, but to really get this thing going, the numbers say you got to be doing 50 recruits in a quarter, and every quarter somewhere in there, there's an RV. And lastly is this. Listen for a second. Okay. This is a numbers business, but people are not numbers. Listen very carefully. R. Williams, the founder of the company, said when you're building a building, if you put brick upon brick upon brick upon brick, any windstorm will knock that thing down. He said the mortar between the brick is what gets it to stay standing during the windstorm. Okay? And the mortar between the brick is personal relationships you build with people, getting to know them, their spouse, get to know about their kids, what they love, what they don't love. That's super important. I heard a long time ago that once, if you get a new recruit, and once you call them, check this out, once you've called them 300 times, guaranteed they're going to become an REP. I had one guy get excited and thought, hey, I just called him 3 times on the first day. How good is that? You will not get an REP, even if the police say you're worse. But it does work. Imagine, everyone you call 300 times, guaranteed they're going to be an REP. Hope you enjoyed that numbers presentation, but listen for a second. Don't just think about the numbers, don't know the numbers, actually apply them and do them. Sound good? Yeah. I want to now get into recruiting with you for a little bit. I've never found recruiting to be that hard. Some people make it to be that hard. And one thing I learned a long time ago is Jesus said to become what's called fishers of men. And the way you make any fisherman really angry is by asking this question. So how do you catch fish? What kind of bait do you use? They're angry. What do you mean what kind of bait are you using? What kind of fish are you catching? How deep is the water? What's the weather conditions? Are you in this, what's the current situation? Like, whoa. I just want to know what kind of bait you use. But they're experts, right? They get angry with such a simple, foolish question. And recruiting isn't that complicated. But one thing I realized, if y'all had a choice of clothing that was one size fits all, or a tailor that came to your home and measured you in custom clothing for your body, what would you rather have? Custom. I'm going to go through this with you. It's really way more simple than you think. I call this, whatever you do to recruit, keep doing it, you're doing amazing. But just add maybe 2 minutes of some of this stuff, and it'll make it a ton easier. I want to repeat these words. This is of all the recruiting lines I've ever heard in my life, and this is my all-time favorite. Ready? It's simple, ready? The best recruiting line ever is these words. You would be perfect for this. I believe with all my heart that almost everyone on this planet, from age 15 to 85, are still looking for what they want to do when they grow up. There's something about someone looking you in the eye and saying the words, you'd be perfect for this, that lights them up on the inside. They've been looking for something their whole life. And the greatest compliment you can give somebody is the words, you'd be perfect for this. I want to be you would what? Let's go through this. I categorize this into 2 categories. One is age, and then current occupation or career. Okay, so I'll make it real simple. Let's talk age for a second. There's 3 categories: young, middle, and more salt and pepper and mature. Okay, young, middle, mature. All right, so each category you can explain them based on their age why they be perfect. So let's start with young people. Okay, when's the best time to learn about money and finance? When you're young, or after you make 812 mistakes? When you're young, pretty obvious, right? Okay. Also, time is on their side. Okay. If you look at all the compounding stuff in the investment material, the compound value of money, whatever, Albert Einstein says the compounding is the most powerful force in the universe. There's way more compounding that can happen for a 20-some-year-old than for a 6-year-old. So time is on their side. I'll say this all day long. Someone in their early 20s getting it going here will become billionaires of this thing. I'm not kidding about that because all the compounding and time. So also, the average American in the course of their future will change jobs 7 times. And every young people is dumber than a bag of bricks that comes down. Here's what we see that. Here's the thing. Oh, so 7 times someone will recognize my talent and say, hey, you're good. Come over here. I will pay you more. That's what they think. But they don't get it. There's things called recessions and getting fired and getting laid off and getting canned and getting pink slip. And it tends to happen when you just got married and have a kid in the way and just got a new mortgage payment. Okay, so they need this because 7 times they'll be let go in their future, right? Next, middle-aged people. Kids are cute. Thank you, Jesus. But financially, the worst investment on planet Earth. Okay, those things just suck the money out of your pocket. Are you kidding me? Okay, everyone agree with that? Okay. So it's the most expensive time of life is when you have kids, right? It's the absolute worst time to get laid off, right? And by the way, they're in the perfect market. Guess what they're super busy doing? At kids dance, at kids baseball, at kids soccer. Guess who else is there? Kids, and guess what else? Their parents, okay? They're constantly around the perfect market, and it's a crucial season. It ticks me off when a whole bunch of people in our country look at the younger folk and think, oh my gosh, we leave our country future in their hands. They suck at everything. They're lazy, they're good for nothing. Let me tell you exactly what's wrong with the younger people. It's the older people. Because right in front of them, they proved beyond a shadow of doubt that working hard is stupid, so why bother? Their kids, why do their parents work hard in their job and complain and bitch and moan? Every time their kids ever ask for something, no, we can't afford it. Their kids watch their parents working hard on some business, and they're always struggling and wondering if they're going to make it and will they be in business. And every time their kids ever ask anything, they're told no every single time. Their parents are closing their kids on the fact that working hard is done. So kids have figured out they're not stupid. If I'm being broke if I work hard, I might as well be lazy and be broke. What's the difference? Either way, you're broke. Parents owe it to their kids to work hard and succeed right in front of them and reward their family. Make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. Next, the seniors, the more salt and pepper, the more mature, they'd be perfect for this. You know why? Because 90% of them believe more than 90% sure they need for retirement. They're looking for something. No, something that's no heavy lifting, no punching a time clock. And by the way, most people do not want to fish 7 days a week or change channels 7 days a week or do underwater basket weaving 7 days a week. They actually want to do something in their future. They don't want to do something crazy intense, but something a little bit light to keep their mind active and sharp. And by the way, the topic of retirement is only mentioned one time in the Bible, and it's not good. This guy is telling Jesus, I've done well, I've saved all this stuff, I'm just going to kick back and enjoy. And Jesus looked at him and said, your very life will be demanded from you on this day. We are called to be a steward of our time and our talent. The time we're born until the time we die. Retirement is not talked about well in the Bible. So younger people, middle-aged people, and older people, our message for them is what?
You be perfect.
Three of you understood it. Good. Our message for them is what? Now we're going to go through a few different careers. And I want you, who's ever heard the fact that convince people, right? I want you convinced, no matter what field or career someone's been in, they're perfect. So teachers and coaches, oh my gosh, your teacher and coach. America was terrible. I was 7 school teachers and coaches about 40 years ago. Okay, they always look for ways to make extra money. In the summer, they're painting, they're doing other stuff, they're doing all kinds of things to make extra money, right? Okay, educational, they have educational skills. We're a financial education company. They've been teaching short people. We teach taller people. It's not like different, right? Summers, I married a school teacher. I'm so dumb that I have to major in teaching. They have so much time off. They get like Abraham Lincoln Day and Groundhog Day. And they get all kinds of things off all year long. It's so much easier to do business. We have all this time off all the time, right? And then also, they can teach and coach others. You know what Art Williams called that opportunity, our RDP position? The head coach position. The head coach position. Make sense? So teachers and coaches, our message for them is? All right, so people are engineers, programmers. They look at you and think you have two heads to be able to shift them from engineering, programming, IT, whatever, to what we do. Okay? Here's how you explain to them. Don't look at the screen, look at me for a second. I want you, every time you're in front of these people, I want you to take them down the journey. Remember when you were in high school? Yeah. Remember how most kids in your class walk around saying the words, I hate math, I hate math, I hate math? Yeah. Dave, you never said that. You went to college. Let me tell you what you did in college. You looked at data, you brainstormed solutions, you solved problems. And don't tell me you do your job. I know you do your job. You look at data, you brainstorm solutions, and you solve problems. I've got news for you. All those kids you went to high school with, they're not in their 30s, 40s, or 50s complaining about algebra and geometry. But they are ignoring and neglecting everything that has numbers on it. And guess what has numbers on it? Their finances. I did an appointment once. I said, how much credit card debt do you think you have? Oh, about 30 grand. They got all their envelopes, added up, they were a little bit off. It was 157,000. They ignored and neglected everything that has numbers on it. And I look into the eye and say, God has graced you and your brain with an amazing skill to look at data, brainstorm solutions, and solve problems. That's exactly what we do here. You would be perfect for this. And it totally shifts it around. Now you don't have two heads anymore, right? Athletes, people like me, right? So, true story. I was a sophomore in high school, and in the study hall, right? And this kid says to me, "Hey, when the teacher turns around, follow me." It's okay. And I followed him, and we took off our shoes, and we played 2-on-2 basketball on our socks. Okay, I taught him some moves. That guy's name was B.J. Armstrong. He played in the backcourt with Michael Jordan. Okay, so I taught him the moves, and he taught Michael Jordan, and Jordan got all the credit. Just so you know. But anyway, athletes. We were started by coaches and by former athletes, right? Yeah, if you ask me, what's the number one reason primarily succeeding? Is it that Glenn Williams and playing we are the best in the world? It's true, but that's not why. Is our field force the absolute best in the world? It's true, that's not why. Is it because our products are the best in the world? That's true, that's not why. Is it because our compensation is the best in the world? That's true, that's not why. The number one reason why we're going like we're going is called competitions scoreboard. Danny and Ada love their friends all across America. But every day they look at the leaderboards and they want to kill them. Is that true? Yeah. They want to kill them. They want to beat everybody and beat them like they just don't care, right? And that's a healthy thing. So I'm friends with everybody. I look at that thing, I want to pass people up, I want to move my numbers up. Every one of you have only one name that's on competition scoreboard, and people will see where you are, especially if you've done something, and then we'll see what you're doing next month. I'm like, John Cooper, you care about that a little bit? That's all that dude does is check out competition. Exactly. Okay. So competition scoreboard, all the people that were former athletes, they missed those days. And here it's alive, it's well, it's healthy, it's everywhere we go. They find most people that were athletes find every job boring as heck. They miss that Friday night feeling. We have to say it's Saturday morning. Yeah. We got a big time Friday night feeling in the room, don't we? Right. Yeah. Next, people are nurses, doctors. You know, why would they be perfect for this? They work with sick people, right? Okay. Well, guess what? They have a heart of compassion to help the sick. And the number one sickness in our country is spiritual, but the number two sickness in our country is financial. And they have a heart to help sick people. Come on over here. Who's ever heard of Mika Saunders before? She is tearing up. And she used to be a registered nurse, And guess what? There's a sign in her office in Chicago, and it says RN to RVP. They have a whole bunch of nurses coming in, and her husband was a doctor. Nurses and doctors, the RVP. So they have a massive movement to help people in an area where much more are sick than just the other stuff. So you have to help those patients make smarter choices and make more money. Make sense? So when you come across nurses or people in the medical field, our message for them is what? How about police officers? I took one class in college. I was so mad I had to take it. I was an engineering major. I took this one class in. It was like one class available. It was called police psychology. I said, are you kidding me? What a stupid class. That's what I said to myself. But moving on, of all the classes I took in college, that was by far my all-time favorite. The guy who taught was chief of police in the Milwaukee Police Department. Here's what he explained to us. He said, police officers go to work with a totally different mentality than anyone else in the country. Everyone else goes to work and say, this person is bad breath, she's annoying, he's mean, she's kind of funny, he's a loser, they just judge everybody. Every police officer goes to work and they judge people too. Here's how they judge them. If you do not have a badge and gun, and I encounter you, you can shoot me, kill me, I'll never see my family again. If you do have a badge and gun, I got your back, you better have my back, because we can save each other's lives, and I'll see my family again. That's exactly, so my whole career, I would sit down with a cop and his wife or whatever, and trying to recruit them, they'd be arms folded, looking at me like I had a gun point. They didn't trust me one bit. The guy named, we had 84 RVPs I hired. The guy who got there the fastest, where's Josh Christian at? Former 27. In the first 6 months, what percent of your clients and recruits were police officers? 99%. There you go. I was talking to them. Who's this guy? I don't trust him. You never had a badge and gun. Get out of my house. Josh was talking. Oh, Josh has a badge and gun. Yeah, what do you say, Josh? You're here to save my life. That guy was here to kill me. Okay? I'm not kidding about that. Why he has some different result is because police officers are totally wired different. Go recruit them because you're never gonna be able to sell them. Make sense? Factory workers, they'd be perfect for that. You know why? Because they all bring the garments out to get them. Probably true. And they all work together in what's called an assembly line. They don't take vacation when they want. They take vacation when there's what's called shutdown.
Right.
They work together, they take a break together, they go on vacation together, they do everything together. So when you recruit them, I got this weird shift, guys. You do this thing, what's your shift? 11 to 7. Well, guess what? Everyone you know well has the same exact shift. Let's see them before 11 and after 7. Make sense? People in the accounting field, mortgage, real estate, all that stuff. I approach those guys and I talk to them. I got a very simple message. You're selling a whole lot of hamburgers. You never even sell the fries in the Coke. The easiest sale in the history of planet Earth is selling fries and a Coke to somebody who's bought a hamburger.
Yeah.
What is wrong with me? I'll say that way. But the idea is that if I can help you expand your menu, help your clients more, make a lot more money, would you be open to that? And a whole bunch of them pass that IQ test. So they're a perfect fit because they already looked at people's finances and only deal with one part of it. Make sense?
Yes.
People who are business owners. Our message to them is what?
You'd be perfect for this.
They are rich in context. They'll never ask you, where do I find people? It's constantly, they got vendors and customers and people they know. They're risk takers by nature, and they're super hard workers. So when you meet business owners, our message, most of them, by the way, here's what's different. Listen, a lot of people think, well, I want to build a American business and leave it back to my kids. My dad was a business owner. If I ever said to him, Dad, I want to follow you in business. He didn't own a gun, but if he did, he would have shot me in the head. I'm not kidding. Most business owners would lay awake at night in terror and disgust at the even thought of their kids following them in business. They don't want their kids anywhere near their business. They hate their business. That's why it's such a good thing. Make sense? The students, when you run across them, they'd be perfect. Every college kid has 2 jobs. One job, get good grade. The second job, build up your resume. And guess what? Cutting grass, working in the mall, doesn't look fantastic on a resume. Financial services, woo, right? Looks fantastic. So and they're gonna switch jobs 7 times anyway. Worst case scenario, they did plan B, but better off, they can build it now and go on a run once they finish. Salespeople, oh my gosh. Every time you meet a salesperson, our message for them is what?
You'd be perfect for this.
What they sell, not everybody needs. Let's be honest, the 2 most popular sales professions in America are car sales and real estate sales. To me, that's just so freaking hard. You know why? Because if you're in real estate, guess what? 1 out of 100 people you'll ever meet right now want to buy or sell a home. If you're in car sales, 1 out of 100 people will ever want to buy a car. And if they do want to buy a car, what makes you think you're so lucky that you sell Subaru makes you want a Subaru, right? There's like 20 different dealerships out there. It's so freaking hard. I like our business a lot better because everybody needs it.
Yeah.
Why get in a business where 1 out of 100 people need it instead of 90 out of 100 people?
Yeah.
So when we run across people in sales, our message for them is what?
You'd be perfect for this.
Next is people in the business and the trades people. You know what they always do? They quote jobs, right? Hey, come on in. I want a new kitchen remodel and a bathroom. So you go quote them, and here's the price. And how much for half the bathroom? You know why? Because they don't have no money, right? So they can't afford everything they want. What a great moment right there to help them with their finances and recruit them to make more money and start with doing half the bathroom, just the toilet for now, and eventually get the whole job because they can offer them a way to fix their finances and get what they want. How about people who are homemakers? Oh my gosh, more than ever in this new Zoom era, they are every single family that does this looks like this. Husband marries a wife, okay? When they do that, there's 2 people and 2 incomes. So right? 2 people, 2 incomes, right? Then the wife, hopefully, has the baby, right? The wife has the baby, and then they decide to make a sacrifice in their family to have the wife stay home with the baby. So went from 2 incomes for 2 people to guess what? 1 income for 3 people. Okay? They made a sacrifice. And they're thinking, there's nothing else I can do. I want to stay on my grid. They don't know this thing exists. They can be at home, zooming away, making several $1,000s a month, replace that income, and still being home 100% of the time for their business. Yeah. What a blessing. We gotta get this message out fast, right? So when you come across homemakers, our message for them is what?
You'd be perfect for this.
Next is people in the financial. When you come across people in the financial field, people avoid them. I gravitate to them. You know why? Because there's 8 potential benefits in this industry, and Primerica is the only place that has all 8. So we're the only place that can do insurance solutions, debt solutions, investment solutions, recruit and train other people, have ownership for our families, attract and retain the best we can offer them ownership too. Then we got a 7th one called free stock. They don't get that. And 8th one called non-financial products like legal protection and dividends, stuff like that. So we've got 8 benefits. None of them even have the first 6. So for example, John Smith opens up John Smith Financial Services, and the worst thing John Smith can ever do, ever, is hire someone good. So they're good, and John Smith's daughter is not single, and that guy they just hired is only thinking one thing: I'm learning everything this guy knows, I'm out of here. Yeah. I'm gonna know about Michael Johnson Financial Services across the street. Okay, so all they're doing is recruiting and training their future competition. This is the only place you can be in the money business, have ownership, and attract and retain the highest talent people out there. You get to offer it to them too, and the only place you can do everything. And that, name one other company that has all that: investments, insurance, mortgage, recruit, and train, have ownership, and offer ownership. It does not exist. So just pure, you know what bugs me is that some of us just have a chip on our shoulder because we're Primerica. Here's the fact: if a brand new person in Primerica had a recruiting interview on Monday morning, trying to recruit Merrill Lynch's top person in the country, okay, top person in the country, making $3 million a year. In reality, if you remove ego and remove emotion, the interview should last about 30 seconds, and that guy from Merrill Lynch should resign and come to work with that new person Primerica has ever made time. Because all she or he would have to say is, why on God's earth would you want to be in the most residual rich business in the world? You can't have ownership. Right. We're the best thing going on. Put your shoulders back and believe it, right? Yeah. Successful people. Oh my gosh, this ticks me off. There's a whole bunch of you who won't put people on your list. No, they're already successful. Are you kidding me? What is wrong with you? Okay, you know, successful people are never satisfied. Yeah. They have no idea how to turn it off. Every broke person cannot wait to retire, but there's 0 retired billionaires on the planet. Isn't that something? Yeah. So you think people just, you ever hear that show Shark Tank? They're always looking for what's next and better. They never know how to turn it off. Quit backing off successful people and bring them over here. Yeah. So good. MLM junkies, we meet them like that. We have 4 people making over 100,000 years, another 10,000 companies come back. Okay? Is that something? I think 99% of everyone making 6 figures plus in direct marketing is in Primerica. So they're like all fighting for a crumb. I swear to God. So I want to just close out with a little message for you guys. Like, I call this competing against the clock. I was wrapping this up with this little message. I hope and pray this helps you guys. But at the end of the day, we got to stop wasting time. Have sense of urgency. Let's get this thing done. Make sense? Here we go. So, guess what your most valuable asset is? There's people who actually think the most valuable asset I have is my home, or it's my car, or it's my money. It's not true. You can lose your house, you can lose your car, you can lose your money. You can work hard and get that back. Yeah. The most valuable asset you have is your time. Right. Time is the only asset you have that once you lose it, there's nothing you can ever do to get it back. We need to learn how to focus and not waste time and not let our minds wander. The way you understand a thing is quit thinking about the thing, right? So if you don't understand focus and how you should work in Primerica, picture a heart surgeon doing heart surgery. When a heart surgeon is performing heart surgery, they're not thinking, on this lunch being in the refrigerator, I can use a sandwich. Okay? They're not thinking, oh, what are the stock market's doing, or my favorite team is winning right now. You know what they're thinking about? The heart surgery. You know what else they're thinking about? The clock. You know why? Because they can't leave somebody's heart out of their chest cavity for too long of a period of time. You want the surgery and the clock and the surgery, and absolutely nothing else. You look at there's a Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and the Falcons played the New England Patriots, and Tom Brady and Steve were down like in 20-some points with 5 minutes left. And you should have seen the look in his eye the last couple minutes of the game. Now they came back and won somehow. Okay, but if you would have walked up to Tom Brady when they're still down 20 points with 5 minutes left, and said, "Tom, what is your name?" He said, "I don't know." "Are you married? Do you have kids?" "Not sure." Tom Brady was only thinking about 2 things: the game and the clock. The clock and the game, and absolutely nothing else. I have a wife who's a master teacher. I have a son named Billy who didn't like doing his homework. Okay, she's got a master in teaching. I got a master in primary. So she tried every teaching technique to get him to do his homework. Didn't work. I got in there. I said, "Hey Billy, let me see." He had 20 math problems. "Let me see you do one." I said, "Okay." So I timed him. It took 2 minutes. So how many you got? I got 20. Dad. So Billy, look at he likes sports, right? I said, "Look at the clock." So what time is it? It's 4:20, Dad. So there's 40 minutes left till 5 o'clock. Takes you 2 minutes to do one. I know if you compete against that clock, you'll get it done by 5. So Billy, all I want you to do is 2 things. Look at the clock and do your math. Look at the clock and do your math. Look at the clock and do your math. Don't do anything else. All of a sudden, he was competing against the clock to get it done. All that stuff they do in teaching, I don't know what that stuff is. I don't know. Every one of us, we bring new people on board, and they don't have a clue. They are ready to coast and go slow. And they don't know what's a record for the slowest start. They all want to be right. So we have to somehow shift their thinking to fast starts, right? That's what they pay us the big bucks to do, right? So here's how you explain to a brand new person. Listen, there's a really important message I've got. Every Hollywood movie understands this. Every best-selling author understands this. Every big time miracle does this, but I'm pretty sure you don't right now. So I'm just explaining to you. You ever go see an Avengers movie before?
Yeah.
They always start off with actions, right? The worst thing that ever happened to a Hollywood movie is the first 20 minutes are boring. Everyone walks out and says, "What a stupid movie." I walked out and that rumor spread. Every best-selling author gets paid to finish the book and tell others about it. Okay, so they want to get the attention to begin the book. You gotta look every new recruit in the eye and say these words. Ready? "I believe you will be hugely successful here." Which means 10, 20, 30 years down the road, everybody's gonna be surrounding you, cornering you, begging you. Can I ask you a question? What was it like your first week? What was your start like? What was it like your first month? I don't care how long someone stays here, they only have one first week. They'll never have one again. They have one first month. They'll never have one again. You have a choice, John. You have a choice there to make that story super boring. It bores the tears out of everybody. It's so exciting. It inspires everybody to get off to a fast start. Give one shot. Let's make this big. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That was a lie, by the way. You only have one shot. So I do that a couple of times. I do it the first week. Then I do it once I only have one. So it's only have one first week. And then 7 days later, we have one first month. Okay. And they get district license. Once they get licensed or appointed, their money making mode. This is your only first week ever and money making mode. You'll never have it again. That's in the 8th day. So it's your first month ever and money making. You'll never have this again. They're a district that's first week ever is a brand new district, that big old contract, and then when they're not already first month ever, first week ever, the Super Bowl champions, and never do this again, right? So you get it, so you keep doing that and give people a sense of urgency. That's really fun. Make sense? Appointment setting. Every time, once you've been around for a while, people call you, "Oh, I'm in a funk, I'm not sure what's going on, I know activity, I'm not sure how long it's gonna take to turn. I got good news for you. I know exactly how long it's gonna take to turn this thing around. Oh my gosh, well, how long? About 39 minutes. Right now, it's 4:21, okay? Here's what I know. Between now and 5 o'clock, you can schedule 5 appointments in the next 39 minutes. I totally believe you can. I'm praying for you. You can do this. I cannot wait for you to call me back in 39 minutes and rattle off the 5 people you schedule appointments with. Your whole business will change. And it's only going to take 39 minutes. I'll talk to you then. Boom. That's what you do. You give people a task and a deadline on the clock and teach them how to compete against the clock. Make sense? Art Williams, my hero, right? So pretend for a second, I got a call on Monday from Art. Say, hey, so you're talking to some people, nobody knows yet. I say, yeah, great people. Say, yo, I'm really, really rich. Yes, he's a multi-millionaire. I'm kind of bored. I'll do a little experiment with those people. So, okay, what's the experiment? So everyone who was there in that room, on Monday morning, he said, I got a check today for 100 grand. All they got to do is one by one today. Only have till midnight. They do it, they get a check for 100 grand. They don't do it, they don't get it. That's your question. Be honest. $100,000 in your bank account. Not you guys. Happens like every day. $100,000 in your bank account. What difference does that make to your life? That's huge. That's gigantic. That's life changing, right? I believe if he said that, here's what you're not going to say. Oh, shucks. I wish you would have called on Thursday. I have an appointment that day. I got to do that. You know what you're going to do? If he says that to you, you got no appointments that day. Let me tell you exactly what you're going to do. You're going to make phone calls and do stop bys. Right. And if you can stop bys, you'll make more phone calls. And you're not going to go to the bathroom, or you're going to go really fast, and you're not going to eat, or you're going to slurp it down and get out of it. Right? I believe that we have a 100% success ratio of everybody in this room doing one by one for a check for 100 grand. Here's the point. It's not an experiment. It's not make-believe. It's not fictitious. I played that stupid little game every day of my career that I haven't gotten a check for 100 grand. I haven't gotten 17 checks for 100 grand. I haven't gotten 42 checks for 100 grand. I haven't even gotten 88 checks for 100 grand. I've not gotten 141 checks for 100 grand. I got 193. I got I made over $20 million. I got over 200 checks for over $100,000 in that stupid, silly, dumb kids little game. You want to play that dumb game with me? Yes. 200 checks for 100 grand in that stupid game. That's how my heart was. We're just talking again about the fact that guys who 30 by 30, right? 30 by 30 is that time where you're in a position to promote RVPs and be an RVP, like 30 by 30. That's where it starts. You can never build an RVP business that promotes RVPs without 30 by 30 team. So how do you do that? How do you do 30 by 30? Simple. Compete against the days. For those of you not that good at math, it's not that hard. There's 30 days in a month. So if you want to do 30 by 30, where do you think you should be at by the 8th? There you go. How about the 12th? 12 by 12. If you compete against the date, okay, now you're doing, now these guys, they're shooting for 30 by 30 per day. That's where they're at right now, 30 by 30 per day. So this doesn't end, okay? You keep competing against the date, just on different levels. Make sense? I want to challenge you guys the next 90 days to be more focused than you've ever been before. And by the way, Art Williams started this thing called a 90-day blitz, a 90-day madman cycle. And what does that actually mean? It means you get everything you got in 9 days. And what do most people do? Slow down on the 20-something day, the 40-something day. Answer your question, when do you think most of the results come from a 90-day all-out focus blitz? Between the 85th and 90th. Isn't that something? That's why they call it 90 days. They don't call it 37 day or 21 day. They call it 90 days. Most of the results come between the 80th and the 90th day. So I'll close with this. There's a book out there. Sorry, one more thing. Have you financially crisis-proof your life? What do I know about crisis is, guess what percent of people in America have a crisis in their life? 100%. Guess how much notice a crisis is? Zero. Okay? So if we're all going to have one, it gives us zero notice, and we all agree they're difficult to go through, why would they call a crisis? If that's the case, my question for you is, why would you want to have financial challenges on top of something that's difficult to go through that's going to happen to all of us? So in other words, my dad was in the hospital when he passed away. He was in a coma for about a week. Then he passed away. For 7 days. I never left his side, never made a phone call, didn't go to a meeting, didn't do appointments, none of that stuff. In that 7 days, that could have wrecked me if I was commission only. I made $37,000 that. Never thinking about my business. And it's gonna happen to all of us. Why would you want to have financial? I'm not opposed to this. There's this book from them a while back called The Power of Now. Okay, that whole book can be summed up in one sentence. There's nothing any of us can ever do to change one thing about our past. You can't do it. There's nothing any of us can ever do to change one thing about our future because we're not there yet. The only thing we can ever do to make an impact on our lives, lives of others, is what we do right now. Take advantage of now. I'll close this one last thought. Guys, there's this is my there's there's reasons beyond our understanding. Why none of us were young men in the early 20s, back in the 40s. Any of us beach called Normandy, where we came out of the water into a sea of bullets, killing all of our friends and comrades, all of them lying dead in the sea of water. There's reasons beyond our understanding why we're not having our children and raising them in a place called Calcutta, India, where if you're a parent and you have a child, if you love your child, you'll cut off your baby's hand. If you don't cut off your baby's hand without their begging for food, they probably won't get any, and they'll starve to death and die. The way you prove your love is you remain your child. There's reasons beyond our understanding why we're in America and we're in climate. We're double blessed. It's not so you just barely get by, barely make it, have a barely lifestyle, but so you can do something huge and great and incredible with your life. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Give it up for your son. How's everybody feeling? Oh, I didn't hear you. How's everybody feeling? Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna have you guys take a seat. We're gonna have a little bit of fun before we bring up our next $1 million earner. Okay? So really good. So as God got us kicked off, we just getting started. And I'm gonna need 3 volunteers, 3 brave volunteers to make their way up to the front. We got a little contest, and you can win a prize. Okay, we got young lady right here. What's your name, young lady? Miss Erin. Okay, we got Sharita. Okay, and we got Daniel. Okay, awesome, guys. So I'm gonna have 3 of you guys stand right here on the side here. And we're gonna do a little bit of karaoke, guys. Yeah, here we go. We got Sharita first. Here we go, Sharita. It's only gonna be 2 minutes, Sharita. I know you got the voice. I'm the little horse. You got the voice. You got it. Give it up for Sharita. All right. All righty. Congratulations, Daniel, for singing his heart out there. So we're gonna ring the bell, Daniel, ring the bell. So really good, guys. So now we're gonna bring up our next speaker, and he has built a massive organization and an amazing team of leaders. And we know that Assad was talking about, that all these different professions would be perfect here. And he used to be a registered nurse prior to Primerica. And within his first 10 months, he was earning part-time here in this opportunity that you guys are in, Primerica, where he was making full-time as a nurse. 10 months in, part-time, okay? So everybody is perfect for this, okay? And so he took off with his goals, his dreams, with Primerica, and 10 years later, he now earns over $2 million a year here in Primerica. Last month alone, his organization helped over 850 families in getting properly protected, and they brought on over 1,100 new associates last month alone, guys. So everyone, get on your feet. Everyone, get on your feet. And we are going to give an awesome, relentless welcome all the way from Burbank, California, Senior National Sales Director, Danny Beta.
Said it all right. His message was clear and direct, and I think it was very inspiring. I got a lot of mental notes. I should have brought a pen and a paper, but I didn't. Anyways, you always learn, right? I was like, damn, I should have a paper. I'll take the best of the things that he said, right? And I think he has really good messages, and I don't know how that and I gonna do better than that, but we're gonna do our best, right? We're here to pay back to him and for his wife for everything they have done for our team, right? So in Primerica, we help each other, right? Yeah. We don't pay them when they go to help us, and they don't pay us when they come here, which is good because we love this business and we want to impact people, right? Yeah. So, and everybody, sometimes people get tired of listening to you, right? So you have to bring new speakers so they can say the same thing you said, right? But because somebody else said it, click. Right? So that's the idea, and that's the goal today. I pray that my husband and I can impact. If we can impact one of you today, will be a blessing, right? Let me tell a little bit about my story, guys. If you can see me like struggle with my English, right? When I get nervous, it gets worse. I'm from El Salvador and Central America. I went to school 4 years my whole life. I didn't finish the 4th grade elementary school. So I never went to school in the United States either, okay? So whatever English I learn is, I learn as I go, right, with my kids' school and stuff. So I'm a mother of 4. Before America, I was a nanny. I used to clean houses, and the last thing I did was being a nanny because it pays more money, right? I was taking care of 4 kids, my 4 kids were alone at home, right? So if any single moms in the house, when I talk about my kids, I always get emotional. Anyway, so when ladies put their kids as an excuse, doing this business for me is just nonsense, okay? Because when I was a nanny, I worked 10 hours a day. So I couldn't see my kids for 10 hours, okay? And it's this business, if you work and you do what you're supposed to be doing, if your kids really need you, you can be there, right?
That's good.
And you're not gonna get fired, okay? So don't use that excuse why not to do this business. That should be the biggest reason for you to do this business, because it can give freedom to you and to your kids. At the end of the day, our kids didn't ask to bring it to this planet, right? So I had a lot of fears, guys. I still do. So if you're waiting, if any of you guys in this room waiting for the fears to go away, just leave, because fear will never go away. Okay, you just fight through it every time, right? Every time I come out and speak, I get scared and my heart starts pumping. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, right? It's funny, right? But I just know that a leader figure it out, right? A leader play hurt. You gotta do what you gotta do. You might not sleep last night, but you have to show up with a smile, right? You have to be the best partners you can be, right? If you're right next to your partner and you're yawning, and you just like, when this freaking meeting is gonna be over, how depressing is that, right? Because you're supposed to be the best recruit for your partner. If you feel, tired, go take a coffee. Show a smile. When we come to the office, guys, when we go to any meeting, we all have problems. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Rich people have problems, poor people have problems. The only difference is the way to react to them, right? You have to be the energy in that room. You have to bring positivity to those people. Like you guys wake up early today to come to this meeting. Imagine if Yasar and I and Danny are like with the long faces, right? Or yawning. I mean, what are we giving you? We're supposed to give our best to our people, right? We've been reading a book this week called How to Influence and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, right? I never read before, but man, it's incredible. I care about you guys. I want to bless you guys today. It's not about me. None of these meetings are about us. It's about who's sitting in front of us. We want to bless you guys. We want to bring value to this meeting, right? So thank you for being here today, guys. And like I said, I had a lot of fears. Right, a lot of fears. A single mama for no money saved. I have the long type life insurance. I had a whole life insurance with a World Financial Group. I was paying $600 a month. Okay, but you can tell I love my kids, right?
Yeah.
So when people have kids and they don't have life insurance and say they love them, you have to be honest and bold and tell them no, you don't. No, you don't, because you don't know if you're gonna die tomorrow, right? So I had life insurance. So when I meet somebody from Primerica, which was my amazing husband, I didn't meet him in Primerica. I met him at a restaurant. And I told him how much I was paying for my life insurance. He told me we need to sit down. Anyway, I was working. I hung up the phone on him 3 times. Right? I was too busy trying to raise my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, working 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, right? But he never gave up though. He kept calling me. So we finally meet, right? Obviously, I'm gonna fall in love with him. But anyway, when he told me like about my life insurance, I said like, yes, it's very expensive. He's like, let me give you a quote, right? So he gave me, I was paying $600 a month for $250. My kids didn't have coverage, just me. And he gave me $500,000 for $87. So guess what I did? I paid for the whole year, right? I give him a check for the whole year premium.
Let's go.
So he said this, no charge back here. I didn't know what that means. like, man, this is like basically 2 months payment of my all the insurance, and I have double the coverage. And I insured my kids for 25,000 each, so I was more than happy. So before I was a Primerican, I was a client.
Yeah.
So if you there's people that do this business that don't have insurance with us, that's nonsense. That is completely nonsense. It makes no sense. You have to be a crusader. I believe in what they did for me, and that's why I want to share with the world, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, at that time I was a nanny, so I was working 10 hours a day. We started dating. By the way, he never brought me to the office until 9 months after we were dating. Okay, so I know he do Primerica, I know he was a salesperson, but I didn't know exactly who he was. Okay, so I fall in love with him now with his title. Okay, so he's an amazing man. I love him more and more every day, right? And so one of those days he told me he was gonna take me to Las Vegas for my birthday. Okay, so I told my boss that I needed 3 days permission, and she said no. So at that time I was already licensed. I haven't done much yet because I was trained by somebody else that wasn't my husband, because he didn't want to train me because he didn't want to. I don't know why. You can ask him. But anyways, so but I said, you know what? I need that permission. So she didn't give it to me. Anyway, making the long story short, that week I told him I need to make appointments to close sales, right? So he went with me to like 3 appointments, and I closed. Well, I mean, he closed, not me. Okay, he closed, and I make like $1,400. I was like, I make what I'm making 2 weeks on my job in 1 day. Okay, this is kind of making sense, right? So I got excited, so I booked more appointments. I booked a lot of appointments, and the lady that was training me, she never really showed me how to fill up an application, guys. And also I think I kind of avoided it because of my writing. I have a horrible writing, and I just didn't want Danny to ever see my writing because I thought it was going to be disappointed. And it was scary. It was real fear of no oil flaws, right? So some of the people in this room have beautiful writing, speak probably 2 languages, perfect English, at least perfect English, right? And they don't go for it, right? So I'm taking a lot of people's excuses away because my writing is still ugly, but I don't care anymore. I'm not worried about that. I want to become a better person, a better leader that doesn't define me or anybody in this room. Okay, so he basically told me you need to learn how to do the applications, but I don't want him to see me writing in front of him because I know how bad I write. So anyway, I booked more appointments, and obviously we weren't living together, so he told me he was going to show up at the appointment, and I was in there already waiting for him. So I called him, I'm here, where are you? He's like, I'm kind of busy. I won't be able to make it. I won't be able to make it. So I'm like, so I start shaking, right? I was with a Latino family, anyways, 99% of my clients are Latinos. So I was like, so should I come back? So I tell him I'm going to come back tomorrow. When can you come back with me? He was like, no, you're already there, just do it. So I didn't want to disappoint him because, I love him and I don't want to disappoint him. So I went on and did it. I messed it up big time. Like, nasty. I give the lady like 6 different quotes. And guess what? She said yes to all of them. So I closed the lady for $89. She's still on the books.
Wow.
And then, I don't know if you know Latino families, but let me tell you a little bit about them. They're like 10 families living in the same home. Basically in the same apartment. Okay. So she was like, you know what, my cousin living in the room, let me call her. She's pregnant, she's have a baby. So they both came out. I sit down with her, I closed for 59. Okay. And then she told me my other cousin lives in the first floor. So I went and closed her, Claudia. I closed her 2 for, now she's paying like 137, but she got the increased benefit, right? By the way, that's IBR, that's what it means. So I closed her 2, and obviously I missed a lot of things, okay? Social, signatures. I didn't have it, right? So I went back to the office and the company like, you need to do this, you need to do that. Look, you have to look very professional. Just tell them, this is the new paperwork that just came out. I didn't know. And that's what I did. And guess what? People don't know. Whatever little you know is more than what they know.
That's right. That's great.
Okay, so I went back and fixed it. And I make like $2,000. And then I went back to work. That was Saturday. And I told the lady I need those dates. And she's like, no. I'm not gonna give you those dates. And I'm like, guess what? I'm quitting. I'm gone. So she was like, you're gonna come back. I ain't coming back. Just pay me. So she paid me and left. I was scared, guys. When I left, I was like, no, I'm not gonna have a for sure check. And I'm not recommending to people in this room to do that if you're not a full-time yet, if you're not a hard worker. You know who you are.
That's good.
Okay? I was a hard worker in any field. Okay? So I knew I was gonna do whatever it takes to make it happen, right? And after I closed those policies by myself, I told Danny, I don't know you. I'm better at closing than you are. I'm more aggressive. And I think I am. I really do. I just didn't know my potential, and I am so grateful for him to push me. To push me to the edge so I can show what I was made of.
Yeah.
So it really changed my life. So I quit my job, guys. I started closing business. I wasn't doing so good. I was closing like 3,000, 4,000, 7,000 a month, right? I never did more than that. And then when I did 7,000, it was really hard. But anyway, the things that move me are my kids. Right? If you don't have a why that makes you cry every time you think about that, you need to change your why. Because you're doing this for the people you love, right?
Yeah.
So I went to a faster. That's why big events are so important, guys. Because like I said, I was hearing it from my husband, but I never clicked. So we had a speaker, Omar Lopez, okay? He talked so highly about his daughter, about his 2 kids, but his daughter, and I have a daughter. And I pray for my daughter. I have 3 boys and a girl. The last one is a girl. Okay, and I pray for her so much, and God granted me my wish, right? And without even knowing, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do for that girl, because I don't know if you, in your culture, it's like the 16th birthday, right? And my culture is this 15th birthday. Anyway, I didn't have one. Okay, I don't feel sorry for me. I'm good. But anyway, for a long time when I was little, it really like hunt me, and I feel like I was less than because I didn't have one, right? But that's because my parents didn't have money, and they were living in the United States. So they did the best they could with what they have, right? So this speaker comment at the last meeting, he says that he takes his daughter on dates, like a 5-year-old daughter. You go clean the car, pick her up, bring her flowers, and take her anywhere she wants, right? And she called the shot that day. And then at the end, he said, I'm setting my daughter's standards so high, so she will never settle for less. Right? And at that time, my daughter was 6 months before her 15th birthday. And it was hard. I was a single mom. So I said, what do you want for your 15th birthday? She's like, I know you don't have money. It's fine, mom. So you kids know what's up. They know if you're not a hard worker. They know if you complain. You're not tricking anybody. They know. Right? I think she didn't believe in me. By the way, right? She said, Mom, she give me some money so I can go with my friends to the mall. And I said, okay, one sale. That's what I thought in my head. Right? Because I didn't have one. So I was going to do the same thing to my daughter. God bless Lopez for what he did to me that day. And then I called her after the meeting. I was crying. I was angry at myself. And I was like, I'm going to get to work like I never worked before. And my husband was like, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. So I called her on the phone. And I said, Mommy, get a list of all your friends because you're going to have a quinceañera. Yeah. Okay. And she's like, no, Mom, I don't have money. Okay, then she's giving me $1,500. She started negotiating, right? She was like, she's inconsistent. So I'm going to ask for more, right? What else marker I have? And I said, like, no, Mom, you're going to have both. So to make the long story short, the next day was a Sunday. I went to see bumper house with her. I only had $500 in my checking account. And I give that as a deposit. And I went to work like never worked before. I went door knocking. I went to my friends' houses, and I didn't leave until they buy life insurance. By the way, that's what they say. Primary is not for pretty people. Because if you don't want to offend your friends, you don't want to bother them, you don't want to inconvenience them, then you shouldn't be doing this business. Right. I said, like, I can't believe you're not on life insurance. I'm your friend. You have kids. You're gonna die one day. Yeah. I'm not leaving. Okay, then just how much is it? I say I went nasty on it, and I closed 10,000 that month. 10,000 the next month. I have my 10K jacket. I earned it. Whatever I have, I earned. I haven't ever given anything for free. I'm working with my husband every day, and anything that I can help him because I want to bring value to his life.
Yeah.
I don't want to be an anchor in his life. I want to be a blessing in his life. I want to be a blessing for our team, for our hierarchy, for our women. Because you, like, as I said, people are watching you. Don't tell people what to do if you're not doing it.
Yeah, that's right.
Just show them what to do by you doing it, right? So bottom line, I paid for my daughter's quinceañera cash within 3 months. I was the most I will say the most happiest day of my life. See the happiness on my daughter's face. I paid for a limo. Danny gave me the flowers, and I just didn't want anybody to give me nothing because that was my baby. That was my gift from God, right? It is my gift. And then I did her quinceañera, guys, and I just never looked back. That girl, like a week later, she was looking at wedding dresses. And I said, Mom, you want to just turn 18? And she's like, Mom, will you buy me my wedding dress? I'm like, I will. I'll buy you anything you want. She said, I know you.
No.
So her belief changed about her mom, right? So my daughter calls me her hero. Not just call me her hero, but well, we had a Mother's Day at church, and she had a big sign when she was 17. My mom, my hero, and the back and on the front of her shirt, right? So that's a big deal. Do you want your kids to call somebody else their hero or you? Get to work. This meeting means nothing if you don't go book appointments after. You just can't be waste your time. You gotta get to work. You gotta go get nasty. You gotta go door knocking to your friends. And you know what? I don't have a problem letting those friends that don't support me. I don't have a problem letting them go. If you don't buy insurance from me, if you don't buy my product, you're not my friend. Period. Right? If you sell Medicaid, I don't like it. But if you're my friend, I'm gonna buy something. Give it away. If you sell Tupperware, trust me, I can go to Costco and buy a bunch of them for $20. I can buy one for you for 30 because you're my friend. Right? So you have to make sure you're bold enough to know who your friends are. Otherwise, start a business and you'll know exactly who your friends are. And that's the hardest thing for people to do, to let go of those old friends. Those are not your friends to begin with. Right? Just want to let you guys know, this business has never been better. When I started, it was paper up. Now everything is like, you can't make a mistake. They won't let you even submit it, right? And now you have Zoom. You can be doing literally this business from your home. By holding your baby, showing other moms they have babies, and if you can do it, they can do it too, right? I mean, for me, it's all about being an active partner. Everybody's different, guys. You can do it your way, that's fine. I just believe that one person can do a lot, two can do more. Okay? And if you work together and you really rally to become a blessing for your business and for your partnership, and try to be the solution to the problem, right? Not the complainers all the time. While you lay, while you're here, just tell them, my baby has some numbers for you. I have some appointments for you. I got this, right? So my husband and I, we're not near to stop doing this thing. We love it every day more and more, right? On top of me having a bake shop, within the bake shop, okay? I have a bake shop that I built he has his own code, I got mine, right? So he started way earlier than me. So I decided to have my own bake shop. I average like 15,000 a month in my bake shop, right? Within the bake shop. So that gives me a lot of pleasure to say, I am part of that bake shop. Not just his wife and the pictures and look pretty and stuff. I like to be part of the grind. You know, I'm in the trenches with him, and I help him in anything that I can, right? I want to have a women's event when I get back the next Saturday with 250 women. We're our hierarchy is, our women are very strong, right? So they need to have a strong woman leading them. And even though I don't have an outline that I can look up a lady, right? I think God didn't give me one because I didn't need one. And I think, if I'm in their life, it's because they need me. and I have to be there for them, right? So let's just give what we don't have, because that's what God hasn't given you, because you don't need it, right? I think we have an outline, it's God. And we owe everything to him. And I think by us doing more and bringing more people with us, we're helping this world to become a better world, right? So that's all I have for you guys today. I mean, my husband is the teacher. I'm his partner. I what can I say about my husband? Okay. I know everybody might say that about their husband. I don't know. Sometimes I hear things that I don't like to hear. Like, anyway, the way wives express about, I know sometimes about their husband, but for me, my husband is my second king, because God is my first one. He's my rock. He's my mentor. He's my teacher. He's my, what can I say? When I see my husband coming home, wise, if I'm not home, he's at work, whatever, when I come to do stuff to the house, I'm complete when he's home. And that's why it's so hard for me not to go with him to the trip, because I miss him so much. I don't sleep when he's not home. Right? He's just such a blessing in my life. He forever changed my life. And I will always be grateful for him. And I just want to be a blessing for you, baby, getting better and better every day. I hope something that I say today wake up some of the ladies in the room. But we are powerful. We are more powerful than you can ever think. God didn't make Adam for Eve. He made Eve for Adam. So who needed who? Sometimes we think we're stable, we're good moms, and all. We can do it all. We can do it all. A guy can only do one thing at a time. And let me tell you, they're pretty good at it because they focus. But we can do more. So you can be the missing link for your business. When you get full in, you get dirty with your husband, you can take this business to the next level, guys. What I love about Primerica is every day is a new day. It's a new beginning. Forget about what you didn't do last month. This is a new month. Make this month count. Make sure your kids, because my kids and your partner kids are not better than yours. The only difference, and they have parents that are more hard workers than what you are doing right now. But you can always change that though. Because our kids are not going to be broke. I can guarantee you that. Because my kids don't do Primerica so far. But I'm going to deliver for my kids. That's right. That's my job. And I don't care what people say. I have a 29-year-old, 27-year-old, a 25-year-old, and a 21-year-old. And they didn't ask me to bring them to this world. I made the choice. And they're amazing kids. I am blessed with the most amazing kids in this planet. But I'm gonna make sure when my kids need me, I'm there. Yeah. When my kids need a house, I'm gonna buy my kids a home. I'm not working on that. And that's my dream. I already visualize. See them open the door with the kids with the big smile on their face. And it's coming within the next 3 months. So that's my goal, guys. And I hope you guys have those goals for your kids too, right? Say, like, man, I give my kids their first house, their first car, pay off. Not just, fine for them. No, pay it off. Yeah. Right? If they're good kids and they deserve it, why not? Right? Why not? You can literally, guys, sell your kids the dream or the nightmare of this business. Okay? You come home with no checks and you go to meetings and you don't bring money, you selling the nightmare. You know what's funny though? A lot of parents quit and Primerica in the past, and now their kids are doing the business. I would be ashamed if that happens. And my kids tell me, Mama, you run the business before. What happened? Make sure that's not your story. Make sure you're the successful story. Go work hard. Nothing good happens to lazy people. My husband told me not to be hard, but I'm not saying this to anybody specifically, right? I'm just saying, right? Like, if the shoe fits, wear it. But not just wear it though, make changes. Because it's up to you, right? And your life is all up to you. There's not what happened to you and the way you were raised, the way you were born, your parents. I think until the age 18, from now on, It's all you. It's only you to blame for the good and bad things happen in your life, right? So anyways, I went back and forth it. Anyway, so, I mean, let me give it up to the teacher, for me, the best teacher in all of America. The guy that teaches and give you all the golden nuggets without holding anything back, because we want to bless people. And there's enough for everybody in this world, so don't hold back, because there's plenty for all of us, okay? So without further ado, let me introduce my next husband, Danny Chamorro.
Honored to be here and share our story with you guys and what we're doing. Really are. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. You know, the relentless hierarchy of God's team too. Just an honor. You know, Ian doesn't bring anybody here. Right. He picks the top leaders in Primerica to share with his team. Just like we did. We brought him here because you guys are doing such an amazing job. So we're honored to be here and share what we're doing. And you know, hopefully it inspires somebody. You guys fired up? Yeah! My wife too. A lot of us, your partner not being here is the key. Because how do you go tell your partner this? You can't. Or maybe somebody in your business that could have heard that. It's the one that sells out to the big events the most that's going to explode their business. The next one you got to have the most people here. Asad says some pretty amazing things. I like the guy, funny guy. All right. Anyways, you know, I've been in the business 23 years. It started when I was 3 years old. This feels like it just flies. You know, I was an RN. I never saw myself doing anything like financial services. I also had a World Financial Group policy. It's called WMA back then. And Primerica came to my house from $200 to $37. It was an easy sale. Matter of fact, how I got involved is my brother, actually my cousin up in Sacramento, did a training presentation with my mother. And my mom bought the life insurance, and then my brother found out about it and said, how could I join? And he kept on telling my cousin, you know, my cousin in California wants to, in Southern California wants to join. And the RVP never called. So my brother called, back then it was the Yellow Pages, back then, okay? Right back then. And he found the nearest Primerica office. His name was John Ballou. Picked up the phone and came to the house, recruited my brother, right? So, but when he joined, I go, look, anything that gives you a chance, Carlos, cannot be legit. Because my brother had like a special section in church. Like he's always in problems. I go, this can't be real, brother. They hired, you know. You're not going to get me into your business either, because I got a degree. But what he did do is he invited me to an opt, and I went 31 times until I said, you know, I'm going to go to your meeting, then you'll leave me alone. Followed up, and I did it as a leave me alone. I went here and I go, look, I got one of those policies, cash value policies. It was very interesting. So then he filled out my application, and you know, one of the things that our uplines, John and Mary Ballou, did was they saw like, man, Carlos is kind of a different guy. I was more like, you know, serious guy. So she got involved right away. A lot of us allow our downlines to recruit people, and then you don't get involved. So you lose out on people like me because you want your people to build people, and they don't know how to build people.
Yeah.
So the RVP got involved right away, right? So we pushed my brother to RVP, we were the replacement. And we were honored to push him there. And then when the mortgages got hot, he left to do mortgages. So he's no longer in Primerica. But you know what's crazy is that his daughter is in Primerica and has the ring.
Wow.
She's one of our RVPs.
Wow.
This time's gonna fly by, right? Well, anyways, 9 months after joining Primerica, went full time. And I think the hardest part was not quitting my job. The hardest part was when I got a letter in the mail saying that I had to renew my nursing license. So I go, all right. If Primerica is this good, why do I need this? That's when I threw it in the trash and my license lapsed now. See, the reason a lot of us aren't winning is because you have plan B and C. When this is all you have, you gotta swim now. You gotta burn your bridges. When this is all you have to pay your bills, you're gonna fight. And that's what we did. So it was about a year and a half after I went full time that I went RVP. And I think what we did before going RVP is we got super wide. We had 14 legs before RVP producing. We gave a briefer replacement, took 11 legs with us. So we've never, ever, ever in Primerica made under 15 grand as an RVP, ever. Because we focused on width and not trying to manage people. We knew that the right people are gonna figure it out. See, a lot of us wanna just work on that one guy over and over and over and over and over instead of finding more directs. The right people figure it out. You gotta build through your people, but the right people figure it out. Your job is to be a great example. Introduce your people to your new guests every single out night. So, I'm not telling you to quit your jobs. I'm telling you what I did. And what the number one reason I think is why we took off. Now, we got to 400 grand pretty quick. Within 40 years, we're making 400 grand, right? Never made that kind of cash. The problem there, what happens is that after 4 years, I retired pretty much at the age of 30, 31. Started playing basketball every day, started waking up late, stopped hiring directs. So for about 10 years, making 400 grand, and then our income was like this, to 250. So now you're looking at, okay, so what do I do? So in 2010, I'm going to show you right now, I had a decision to make. It's either I keep motivating my guys or go build a whole new team. So let's take a look at this real quick. So in 2010, this is when our income went from 40 grand a month to 25. Now, understand that 25 grand a month was my bills. I was at a higher level of broke. Bills are 28 grand, I was making 25, I'm going backwards. So this is a premium we did in November 2010, 11,000 in premium. Next slide. We did 6 recruits that month. Next one. Made 23,000 in cash. All right. So then we decided to get back in the field. But yeah. Okay, next slide. And within 9 months, next slide. Oh, you can't see it. Okay, we did like 75,000. How do you go from 11 to like 75,000? How do you go from 6 recruits to 80? Because I had to talk with myself. If you got a little 10 grand base shot right now, you got to have a talk with yourself. That ain't enough. You know what I did? I sold my Mercedes and bought a Prius. Because it's time to get dirty again. It's time to go hire some directs again. I hadn't arrived yet. I had to remind myself that I had to get back in the field and go hire directs. And a lot of us don't want to do that right now. Yes. Yeah, I met Alan a Prius. You know what's crazy? When I met her at the restaurant, she goes, "Nice ring." I goes, "Primerica." She goes, "You work Primerica?" She used to be a Primerica. The guy who hired her was John Ballou, my upline. He didn't hire many people, but he hired her. I didn't know her at the time. I didn't know her. Okay, right. She never went to the office. Anyway, that's another story. Right. Okay. So in 2010, we made a decision. Next slide. Okay, we had in 2010, we had a base shop of 11,000, a hired people of 51,000, cash flow 264. Had a talk with myself and said, "Look, Danny, you're going to do Primerica, or you're going to, but you're not going to sit here and just mess around and pretend you've arrived and you haven't." Within 7 years, we're doing 700,000 in the higher teams. We went from 264 to 1.6. And to this day, we haven't stopped. We're still running a 70K base shop. Last month, we did 835,000, creating 1,100 recruits. We're not stopping yet. We're stopping when the job gets done. That one end that you see there is 1 million. We call it, it's a $1 million hire, not cash premium. We're gonna keep doing this thing till we're doing $1 million in premium to second generation. We don't talk about money, we talk about size. See, what you ought to be thinking right now is 100 code numbers. Not the ring, because if you have 100 codes, you get the ring. You gotta start thinking 300 code numbers, 500 code numbers, 1,000 code numbers. You focus on size, money flows. The great leaders don't focus on money. LeBron James, I hated LeBron James until he became a Laker. Right? Anyways, you think he focuses on money? No. About Kobe, Tom Brady. They don't focus on money. Money follows them. So whatever you decide to do, become great at it. Primerica sucks when you're making 100, 200. Walk in a room, nobody knows you. And if you want to be somebody, it pisses you off. Ian's chasing something bigger than that. It's greatness. You can't make that. It's either you have it or you don't have it. All right, so let me go over my tip, my points here. All right, here it is. Number one is you got to be a great problem solver. Primerica is 90% leadership skills, 10% product knowledge. A lot of you guys are really good at the rule of 72, investing money under management, but people can't stand it. You got to connect with people. So when we talk about that is, where is your communication skills, your self-control? Where's patience? You all know the 5 love languages? When's the last time you asked your partner where they were at? You want to get her to book appointments? When her love tank, she's looking for a divorce attorney. I'm making sure Ada's love tank is really high, so I can talk about Primerica. Because if she's there, she's gonna listen to me. She's here now. We're both happy, right? She's acts of service followed by gifts. I get her flowers all the time. I buy her nice gifts all the time because that's how she feels loved. Don't tell your partner you love them. Like if they like physical touch, rub their back, show them you love her. See, people want more of who you are than what you have. People are more attracted by our marriage than our Rolls Royce. So 90% leadership skills. You all learn STAR?
Yep.
Action, theory, structured, organization. So when people sit down and process, they see Primerica 4 different ways. Do they like toys? I got a guy named Daniel Bergon Jr. on the team right now, 23 years old, makes $1 million a year. He is highly motivated by toys. But some of us don't want to talk about that because it's offensive to talk about nice cars. So you recruit him because it's offending. Because you get offended by talking about those things. You have to be able to talk to people about what they like, not what you like.
That's right.
You like to help people? So do I. Let me talk to you about some stories how Primerica helps out families. You like to learn? Let's talk about learning. Those of you that can connect, John Maxwell has a book named Everybody Communicates, but Few Connect. Few connect. That is powerful. You've got to connect with people. That you've got to see Primerica through their eyes. And those of you that master the people business are going to be giants here. Number 2, understand the numbers game. Go ahead and write 10, 80, 10. 10% of your business should be 23 and under. 80% should be 24 to 35. And 10% should be over 35. Why? Because when your business is 80% 24 to 35, they all know young couples. How old were you starting? 23, okay, right around there. I was 27, Hector was 27. The list of people goes on around that age. So I tell my guys, recruit 3 to 4 directs, but don't count them if they're not in that age. If you're a little older, I'm 50 now. I'm not trying to recruit 50-year-olds. Yeah? Eat coffee 6 times a day. They go on vacations all the time. They don't want to go work. I want to go recruit somebody like Daniel Bergon Jr. I want to go recruit somebody young so I can override them for longer. All right, so go ahead and write these numbers too. This is what it takes to make $1 million in income in Primerica. A couple ways to do it. Now, I will tell you something. Our business is unique. 95% of our income comes from life insurance. We got to get better. I was asking you, what did you make last year in investments, right? Like 280, 280. Awesome. We made about 80 grand. We got to get better in investments, but we're pretty good at the insurance game. Okay? So 50,000, running a 50,000 base shop. You're an SNSD and you're running 300,000 in your hierarchy. So 50 and 300 is $1 million, not including securities. Or you can run 100 grand base shop, 250 through first. That's $1 million in just insurance cash. Now, these are numbers given to you by Rick Susie, one of my coaches. So he talks a lot about premium. If you look at our hierarchy that we belong to, Gary Cornegay, Neil Burfine, all that, that's how we grew up. Big base shop, premium. So when I was here, I said, how do I get to 300,000 when I'm doing 10,000 in my base shop? You build more first. The Barragons went from 300 grand to $1 million within a year. They went from doing 50,000 in their base shop in their hierarchy to doing 350 in their hierarchy. So you got to grow through first. So you got to have an end in mind. What is the end? What's the end game? The end game, if you want to get to $1 million, if that is the goal, is 300,000 in your hierarchy. 300,000 equals $1 million income for the rest of your life. You can drag this thing out for 10 to 15 years, or you can do it in the next 24, 36 months. It's up to you. So what I'm talking to my guys about is we got to get to 300,000, build a big base shop. From that comes big first, that turns into 300,000 in income. This is just my talk. Okay, it's what we're doing. Guys fired up?
Fired up!
All right. Accountability. Every Monday morning, we have accountability at our office at RVPs. Some of us run away from that. We meet every Monday morning. District's got to be there, got to stand up and give their numbers. Division's got to stand up and give their numbers. Regional leaders got to stand up and give their numbers. RVP's got to stand up and give their numbers. Every Monday morning, we have major accountability on hiring. I run 3 meetings a week for the base shop and accountability meeting. How many numbers you got, how many calls you made, how many calls you booked. It's a major accountability. If you're going to grow, you've got to have accountability in your base shop. You've got to like accountability. It's a lot of work. All right, adjustments. My wife and I sit down all the time and we make adjustments. Like when you look at your business, are you getting 20% recruit to code ratio? There's a lot of people in Primerica that recruit 100 people, they get 1 code. That is a problem. You don't fix it by getting more recruits, you fix it by finding a licensed specialist.
That's good.
Where's your QBI? Is that 70% plus? IRAs with every life app? Making adjustments. So my wife and I sit down every single month and we talk about adjustments. She's my business partner. She handles certain things, I handle other things. All right, so I want to show you another couple here that, Hyman, you guys probably know Hyman.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty amazing story how in 2015, their cash flow was 12.5 for the whole year, right? And then next slide. Like, so look what they did. These are RVPs. They had 1 policy, the whole team. Right? Next slide. They got paid like $300. They were on the way out. Next slide. Okay, October 2006, 2 years later, they moved to Colorado. What do? Build a big base shop. Next one. 178,000 in premium. Within 2 years, went from 1,000 to 178,000. I may double it out to Colorado, start writing 10K personal every month. Recruit a few people that start to 10K personal every month.
It's me.
I'll just say next slide. I'm not gonna do what I saw you like 14 times, right? Went from making $1,000 to how much? It'll come up right next slide. 53,000. Okay. You go out, build a big base shop. Mike Sharp, big base shop. Big base shop into what? To big hire. Right? We've been averaging 70,000 right now. Last year, 70,000 by 60 recruits. We have 10 to 12 directs for closing business. We're looking for the next 3 directs. Not trying to get our people to do more. We have two RVPs in the hierarchy do 100 by 100 last month. What they have in common, Paragon and Lozama, is they're over 20 wide each. Paragon's produced 6 direct RVPs in the last 12 months and still have a 100 by 100 base shop. That's the fastest way to build a hierarchy. Popped up 6 RVPs in the last 12 months and still running a 100 by 100 base shop. Paragon usually he's working like he's still a district leader out there hiring directs every single day on social media, recruiting directs. I'm trying to manage his guys, right? Okay, so let's keep going, yeah. All right, so let's talk about building a 10 by 10 base shop. Let's get here first. 300,000, woo, dang, oh, that's awesome. Let's get 10 by 10. What's 10 by 10? That's 3 directs, 3 committed directs closing business is 10 by 10. You all can get to 10 by 10 in the next 60, 90 days. 10 by 10. Once you get here, then you build a 30 by 30 base shop. Next slide. What's that? That's 6 directs closing business. Y'all can get to 6 directs before you get to RVP. 6 directs is a 30 by 30 base shop. Like, in my opinion, I don't think you should ask for an RVP contract if you can't convince 6 people to write a sale. Because having an RVP contract, just because you want to do 1 or 2 big rollovers, makes no sense to me. You're as good as your last sale. I didn't leave Kaiser to do sales. I came here to build a hierarchy. I didn't want to do State Farm. A lot of you guys are a little burnt out because you've been doing sales for a long time. This is a people business. You gotta have an end in mind. That's exciting to know there's an end eventually. What we do is amazing, but do you want to do this at 75? Build a team. Now look, so we encourage our guys to get here. 30-30 before you ask for an RVP contract. But if you want to do something amazing, next slide, please. How about 10 directs closing business? We had 9 district leaders and above last month in the hierarchy over 30 by 30. 9 over 30 by 30. The highest one did 71,000 premium, 114 recruits. Regional leader been here 6 months. But this one, what is he got? Once he goes RVP, if he's used to doing 60, 70, what do you think he's going to do? That's all he knows. That's all he knows. Now, I'm not telling you you have to do this. I'm just telling you anybody who's big in my hierarchy has done at least 50. Diaz, Barrett, all of them have done it. Because they're competitive people. They knew that money was coming regardless. You hear about breaking records. I challenge you to have 10 directs closing business. That's a 50 by 50 base shop. So this is all I do. Pass out these papers every Friday or every Monday morning in my RVPs, and I have them fill them out. Where are you at? You had 4 last month. You have 4 this month. You had 4 a year ago. Make a decision. What are you training on Saturday mornings when you've been 4 wide for the last 3 years? You're gonna tell your guys to go hire directs when they know how wide you are. See, we can't talk tough to our guys because you're 2-legged. But the minute you start getting 10 to 15 wide, you're going to have the courage to tell people the truth. I've written 10K personal many times. So can she tell ladies to write 10K personal?
Yes.
Can she tell mothers that were single, that were trying to raise kids, to do it anyway?
Yes.
We have 8 kids combined. Latinos have a lot of kids. Yeah, we'll get kids out. Yeah, 8, right. She wanted to have more. I'm like, no, they're the season. That's right. Season ain't gonna have fun. Invest in your top 20%. Invest in your top 20%, not in everybody, in your top 20%. Your time is valuable. As I said it, your time is valuable. People start calling you with problems all the time. They take an hour of your precious time you'll never see back, and they call you the next day for another hour, then another hour, and then you're a counselor now. You ain't hired any directs. There's a time to say, you know what? Call me when you got 5 numbers. That'll fix a lot of problems. We'll start making some money. But see, the R's have a problem with that. You think with your heart all the time, and your kids are starving. There's people that need a doctor that to help them. You ain't the one. You're their financial coach. Let me help you make some money. Three things that we look for in promoting RVP. 3. Number 1, are you a personal producer? Number 2, are you good with people? Building relationships. And number 3, can you take care of the back door, which is your pending business? So you come to me for an RVP contract. Are you good at 2 of the 3? If you've got a replacement, you've got an RVP contract. I don't typically do it big. This is just for people that want to be legends.
Yeah, that's good.
You want to do 10 by 10? Here, we'll sign off on your contract. That's cool. Don't ever hold anybody back. Stay connected as long as you can. Like whatever Ian's doing, stay connected as long as you can. This environment is special in here. The minute there is a disagreement, and there will be, you're not going to agree with Ian all the time. But the minute you can go off and do your own thing, that's when the devil's won. The power in our hierarchy is that we stay together. Mike, I say so many things that piss off my guy. I can piss some of you guys off right now. I want to hear out again. But the power of staying connected. You walk into a room, it's like 800 people. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I want to join. The Paragons are united, whether we agree or not, we're united. You stay connected to Ian as long as he lets you be here. Don't try to do your own thing. I'm gonna go do my own meetings. Stay connected. He didn't tell me to say that either. Save your money, take care of your health, and stay grounded. I don't, there's no way we'd be where we're at without the Lord in our life.
Yeah.
This is too tough. I give all the glory to my Creator. All the glory. Bless me with talent, bless me with a wife, bless me with kids, opportunity. The least I can give is do something with my life, give back to the community. My wife and I go to the gym 6 times a week. Because we like it. Gym sucks. Gym sucks. Gym sucks. I'd rather watch a movie and ice cream. But we know we don't want to be hired and have a heart attack at 55. You've been working your whole life and then you get sick. How you do something is how you do everything.
That's good.
You're not going to save money when you have money. You save money when you have no money. You all have a math program?
Yeah.
Mapping away at least 10, 20%? Because, okay, good. That's the first thing I did when I joined Primerica. You know, the thing that I like about my uplines is Mary Ballou was very direct. When I joined Primerica, she says, you got vacation? I think so. You need to start school this week. We had to do 6 days of class. She made me take vacation to finish my Primerica course. Like, when we go for an interview, do they ask us what we want to do? No. What do we tell people? Well, you got a year to finish your course. You can do this silent agent. You can do this part-time. That's exactly what we got going on. A group of uncommitted people. People are used to a boss. People are used to being told what to do. I didn't question my upline. I finished my course. As soon as I passed my life, she gave me a securities packet back then. I had my securities done within 2 months of joining Primerica, out of life and securities.
Yeah.
Mary said, look, your job is interfering with Primerica's schedule, Saturday morning training. You need to switch your schedule if you want to win big here.
Yeah.
You know what I did? Switch my schedule. Took a pay cut to come to meetings. Why was I going to question somebody? I wanted her life. What do we do now? Well, you can work around this. We just got so soft. When you look at Primerica, this could take forever if we keep doing what we're doing. And that's okay. It's still better than a job.
Yep.
I'm not waiting forever.
Right.
My second run in Primerica started in 2010. And we're not letting up. So you gotta have some goals in place. We've been casting $1 million in premium for 5 years. We've been casting $1 million in premium. Last month we did 835,000. We've been casting 1,000 recruits. We need 1,100 recruits. What are you talking about to your team? Right. So let's start talking about 100 code numbers. Regional leaders, 50 code numbers. Division leaders, you gotta have 30 code numbers. District leaders, 20 code numbers. And I'm talking in the next 6 months. RVPs, 100 code numbers. 1,000 code numbers is your ticket. You built it. Let's start working on the numbers, right? That's all we have for you guys today. We're gonna take some questions. Ada, you wanna come up here? Come on, come up here. She looks sexy. Ada, for myself, just wanna see where you guys are at. There's different levels in here. Fire away. Did I scare you guys?
Just raise your hand if you had a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you're building directs, you start working with 20%. What does that look like when you say you're putting time into it?
Yes. Well, in the beginning, you put time into everybody. But if they're getting licensed and they don't come to meetings, they're not trying, they're no longer 20%. Because I've been pouring time into you, but you just don't see value in my time. I got to work with somebody else. But I'll call you once a week to remind you about outcome. You know what I'm saying? Look, do you guys have investments that pay you like 1% interest? What do you think of them? I can't be investing here.
No.
And then you got investments that pay you 15-20%.
Yeah.
That is your time. You keep investing with people that have no interest in doing Primerica. They just want to hang out with them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's good.
How does Ala look today? Yes, ma'am.
How did you determine like who does what in your base shop? So for instance, your wife is fierce. I know this, we can see this, right? She thinks you're fierce. How do you keep it balanced to make sure that everyone's working in the best skill set?
Yeah, we meet once a week and we discuss it. What she's gonna do, what I'm gonna do. And she sticks to her stuff and I stick to my stuff. So she recruits her own directs, I recruit my own directs. She's having fun building a team inside the base shop just because she's having fun with it. She don't have to. But she wants to be a great example to the ladies.
That's good.
Right?
And I think it's not even about who does what. I think you should know how to do it at all. And your husband should know how to do it all. in case you're not around. So if my husband's not around, I can run a meeting.
Yeah.
I can run training. Because I have great leaders also that I can rely on to help me. But if I'm there, I mean, the show still go on, right? Must go on. So I think we both do everything. Like when he's not around, I do what I gotta do. He's not here, so wait for him. No, stop. What's going on, right? I think is you have to take full ownership of your business. He doesn't tell me what to do. I don't tell him what to do. We just do it. Like I said, I got a recruit today. I got a life today. We have an appointment. We have this new couple that are recruited. I want you to be there. So I don't expect for him to tell me what to do because I know what to do. And I don't tell him what to do because I know he's a stud. I just think like we have to recruit the people that are already eagles. Like Danny said, you can't make a chicken an eagle, right? Just go recruit a bunch of people and you can find the people, right? And you have to go through a lot of, you know what I mean? A lot of Napoleon's Dynamite. And so you can find the stat. So you have to know that there's a number game. There's a numbers game. You important to people, you love people, because you don't know if that person can bring you any problem.
Yeah.
You, by the way, guys, you don't recruit a lot of people. You don't need a lot of people.
Right.
You just need to find those diamonds. You have a Danish Chamorro on your team, you can retire. You know how much an outline make a month? 40,000. He does nothing. Zero.
We love it.
I never say we don't love him. What I'm saying is that you find them.
Yeah, it's good.
And now he's getting reward for what he did.
It's good.
So you don't need a lot of people. You just have to recruit a lot of people to get those back. That's all I'm saying.
And we've never blamed any of our uplines for our failures. We've never blamed, well, we don't have an upline, so that's where we're at.
That's good.
We make more money than most of our uplines. Our upline is John Ballou, pays for $400. We love him. We're grateful that he's in our life for a season. Right? And then above them is Martin Zerrold, 1.2 million. Then it's Martin C. Younger, best at relationships.
And I think that's really good to bring up because a lot of people say from America is a pyramid. If it is was a pyramid, how can we, the downlines, make more than half? Right?
Yeah.
So that means that if you work harder than your upline, you can pass it. Straight out. So this business is just amazing, guys. I mean, just make sure you pour into people, you love people, but you pour into the people that are really showing effort. Don't waste it.
And guess what? We want you to pass us.
Yeah.
Right, Ian?
That's right.
Pass us. We do.
I dare you.
That's right. We're gonna help you pass us. That's what kind of business we're in. I want Barragan to beat us in income.
He will.
At 4 million. Right? He's younger than us. I wanted to share one last thing with you. Any single people? Single people. I'm gonna tell you something, okay? A lot of times you see partnerships up here and you're like, man, if I had a partner, I'd also be winning. Right? Some think that way. Look, all I can say is that you may not be ready for a partner. So get off Match.com. Homework. Work on you. If you're a queen, you're gonna attract a king.
Preach. Okay.
If you're a king, you're gonna get a queen. See, right now, if you found somebody, you kill them.
They look
You
at
want
that
a
second
king,
and
you
kind
better
of,
become a queen. See, a lot of us don't want to do that work. So don't rush a partnership. Right? The Lord will put the right person in your life. I prayed. Look, you know, whenever you tell me it's right, you won't put the right person in my life. And I'm in my angel. Right? But you got to be patient with this.
Story talk about me. That was we went to a big fast star right now. I don't know. she said, like, she grabbed me to the corner. She's like, how do you get him? Like, it was a contest, and I said, well, first of all, he didn't marry me after 3 years I was in the business. I was running a 15 by 15 beige shop. I mean, I think he saw value in me, right? I didn't think he's gonna marry anybody, because a king don't marry me. Because they read books, they know better. They can read through people. So become better so you can attract a better man and a better wife in life. That's all it is. That's all it is. Work hard so you can be hard to replace. I am hard to replace.
Here's the last question for the partnerships in here. Partnerships in here. Is your relationship better because of you? Are you making your relationship better, or are you the anchor? I think Ada and I give everything we have in all areas of our life. I give what I have. She gives everything she has. And if something happened to Ada, she would be missed tremendously. If you were gone, you'd be missed. Steve?
Even as a team member, there's people that quit, you don't even notice they're gone. Right? And there's people that when they're not around, you're like, where are they, right? They're fixing the chairs, they're picking up the trash, they stay late, they come early, right? But there's people that just don't bring value. So make sure wherever you go, you miss when you're not around. Be the first person to come to the office, clean the restroom, right? I go early, we're the first ones to the first ones. So I go check the bathrooms, make sure we have toilet paper, make sure we have everything we need. And I have a lady that I'm not gonna say her name, which is an RP, and she said, you shouldn't be doing that, you're $1 million. And I'm like, that's why a lot of people are never gonna be $1 million. In order to be big, you have to be humble.
Yeah.
Because God can humble you pretty quick. Right? And anything everything that we have, we know it's not ours, it's God's. He's just trusting us with it.
good.
And whenever we do a misuse with it, he can take it away.
Good.
Right? So we have to be humble, because when we die, we're not gonna take anything with us.
Yep.
We just have to give the best to the people around us, right?
So good.
So just keep that in mind. Be a very hard teammate to replace in your base shop.
All right, guys, we love you guys. Thanks for having us out here.
All right, give it up for the Toronto one more time, y'all. All right. Now I am the only thing standing between you and food in your stomach. So if you want to get to lunch very quickly, I need 4 volunteers, and we are not singing. I promise you, we're not be singing this time. We need 4 volunteers, 4 new volunteers. Come on up. 4 new. Come on, 2. All right, we got 4. Let's go. Let's rock. Oh, I got 4 already. Sorry, buddy. Too slow. Too slow. That's like creeping to RVP. You're too slow. All right. This is a good treatment. Everyone take a seat real quick. Take a seat. We're going to have a lot of fun here. Slow it down just a little bit. Thank you, sir. Hey, let's give it up for the tech team back there. Give these guys a round of applause. You guys are doing a real job. All right, guys. We got trivia. All right. And we're going to point out trivia. And winner gets a prize. I have no clue how this is calculated. The great Sarah Christian set all this up and has done a phenomenal job. So trivia is going to be on a slide. We're gonna have a lot of fun. If you don't know the Relentless organization, you're gonna learn a little bit about us today. So part one, all right? Here's our first question. Which Relentless RVP got lost kayaking in the channels of Siesta Key for hours and needed Josh Christian to come rescue them? A, Amy Crackulo. If you know it, don't scream it out. B, Sharon Chapman. C, it was definitely Kevin Street. I just kidding. D, Angela Street. Or E, Sarah Fallon. All right, those are your options. Keep them to yourself, no cheating, okay? I know that's how I got through class, but you can't do that here, all right? In Primerica, you actually, there you go. Who's got D? D. What do you got? D. Angela Street, okay. We got 3 people that so far have points. All right, the next one's you. I'm feeling it. I think you know this one. All right, what is Don Bosniak's nickname? Is it Goose? Is it Duck? Is it Hawk? Is it Swan? Or is it E, Owl? Don Bosniak, Regional Vice President. What is the nickname? All right, what do we got? Let's see what we got here. We got D for Swan, B for Swan, B, C. What do y'all think it is? Steve Swan! All right, all good here. Good. We got 2 points. I can't even count. All right, we got 2 or 1 or 2 here. 1. All right, you guys keep track of your own scores. I don't know what's happening. All right, number 1 here. John Cooper tells a story about taking what food from a work party home for future lunches before joining Primerica? The entire charcuterie board. I nailed that word, by the way, right there. All right, cheese cubes, cake, pigs in a blanket, or grapes. All right, what do we got? We got B. What do we got? C, D, and B. It is cheese cubes. All right, now write down your points and keep track. I don't even know where we're at. All right, which creature tried to take out John Cooper on his recent hiking excursions? A, a black bear, B, a grizzly bear, C, a badger, D, a mountain goat, or E, a marmot. I don't even know. I don't even know. All right, everyone in our organization knows that. What do we got? E, C, C, E. It was the marmot. All right, take him out. Y'all should have been on that full timers. He's like throwing stones at it. It was wild. All right. Now, what time should you be back from lunch? This is a leadership question. A, early, B, on time, C, late, or D, whenever I feel like it. All right, what do we got? A. All right, a bunch of regional vice presidents up here. Future RVP. Should be early. Let me give you some coaching on coming back from lunch. These seats are where you belong. No seat stealing. Okay, these seats are where you belong when you come back. Our time back from lunch is going to be, all right, 1 o'clock. But hey, winners arrive back early. Winners arrive back early. So who do we got? Who's our winner? How many points? Oh, Jesse's like, I'm over here. I'm the winner. I'm the big dog. All right, hey, give it up for Jesse Christian. All right, speaker's lunch is downstairs. Speaker's lunch is downstairs. We'll see y'all back here before 1 o'clock. And we'll get the party started for the afternoon, y'all.
Be the reason your relationship is growing, not as anger. We all do. Just do your part. Your partner will do their part. Get the fight bug out.
I still have privilege life, but
graduated March 19th, the day before MIT was going on. And it's like, try, but you guys are amazing.
Good. So much inspiration. So much inspiration. That was beautiful.
I like your haircut.
Just like yours, huh?